Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back.
Do it.
That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure,
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
This week, we look at Strathroy, Ontario, Canada, where a man that would come to be known as the Mad Slasher terrorized the area for over 2 years. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us.
No kidding.
We're pumped. We're excited for Small Town Murder, as always. A couple things right off the top here. Threadless, crimeinsports.threadless.com is where you can get all of your Small Town Murder merchandise. Shirts, mugs, bath mats, you name it, all the sayings, all the logos, anything you could possibly want. Also, quick plugs here, Boston. February the 18th in Boston, 1 p.m. show added for Small Town Murder. Hurry up, because those tickets are selling out pretty quickly. The 7 p.m. is already sold out. If you can't get in either of those, Crime and Sports at 4 o'clock.
Right.
If you're not listening to Crime and Sports, I don't know what is wrong with you. If you enjoy this and you enjoy us, you like that. You don't have to care about sports. Do you care about geography of town? No, but you like this. It's the same thing. Listen to the show. Come out and see us at 4 o'clock in Boston at Laugh Boston. Also, Phoenix, March 25th at Stand Up Live.
Right.
All these tickets links are going to be in the show descriptions. Come to that one. That's our hometown, so it's going to sell fast. Get on that. I believe Detroit with Dan Cummins is about sold out.
It's close. The stand-up show is just about sold out, but the podcast, it's close.
Yeah, so
come to the late show. If you want to come, you better get on the ball now.
That's February 16th.
Right.
besides all that, thank you guys for iTunes reviews this week.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. We pushed over 9,000.
Unbelievable.
Which is huge. We are pushing toward 10,000, and when we get to 10,000, we will do a bonus episode.
There you go.
People always said, well, you do bonus episodes based on, it's like, guys, we do 4.5 hours of podcast a week.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to do. We just don't have time. I don't have time to research for bonus episodes and all this sort of thing.
Think about talking for an entire half day at your job.
Solid. Straight. Just never stopping.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing. It's very hard to do. So, and all that research just put 60 hours of reading behind that too. So it's a lot to do. So
James is overworked, you guys.
We're going to do this, though.
But we're going to do it.
10,000, we're going to do a bonus for you guys because that's incredible. Thank you, guys. And you're welcome.
Yeah.
If you have not done it yet, please get on iTunes and give us that review. Yeah. They help out immensely. iTunes, funky algorithm, we've talked about. It's not our fault. Say anything you want, but the 5 stars are really important on the business
end. The quicker you get there, the quicker James gets there.
And then we get a bonus episode. Also, everyone that contributed this week on Patreon,
ridiculous.
Thank you. You guys are killing it for us, and we just can't do the show without you.
Yeah.
So we're blown away by it. Thank you so much. We have a long list of shout-outs of our producers, our executive producers.
And there are new ones, by the way. Just so everybody knows.
Thank you, guys.
If you're donating, we get your money.
Definitely.
I promise you we're getting it.
Thank you, guys.
And it's this week. This is the new people that just signed up this week.
Awesome. And if you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that over at PayPal.
Right.
No problem. Every dime counts, and it's immensely appreciated. You can just use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com to do that. And quickly, next week, podcast coming back. P.S. I hate this movie.
There you go.
Myself, my wife, Sarah Hunt, we do a funny podcast where we rip apart romantic comedy movies and make fun of them. And I am just livid and ranting the whole time.
You guys hear what you're doing to James?
If you enjoy that,
there you go.
There's that too. So check that out. That's going to be the week of the 25th of January, I believe. So get on that.
Right.
Besides all that shit, Jimmy, never mind all of that. We have to do it.
Oh, no.
We have to do the disclaimer, guys. We have to do it, guys. This is a comedy podcast.
It is.
And we have to say, because we still get messages. We don't say this because we say horrible things and make fun of dead babies and things. That's not why we give a disclaimer.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad, as we say. We give a disclaimer because no matter what, we get messages saying, how dare you make jokes about murder, period. How dare you have a show that has murder and jokes in the same show. And kiss our asses, honestly.
How dare you listen to it?
You know what? We tell you what it is. It says what it is in the description. We tell you right now, if you're still listening, guess what? You're on board and you're just as big a part of the problem as we are. Okay? So enjoy the show, kick back, have a good time. And if you don't like true crime and comedy to be together and you never think they should be together, stop goddamn listening. Turn it off, unsubscribe. You're not going to like it.
Right.
Okay? And if you want to just have a good time, have some fun.
Right.
And you know what, too? We're respectful.
Yeah.
We go out of our way to never make jokes about the victims or the victims' families.
Yes.
We are assholes, but we're not scumbags, people. So hang in there with us. We're going to have a good time besides my craziness. Never mind all that shit. It's time to shut up and give you murder, guys. Let's do this.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
Fantastic.
What do you say? Last week we were in Wyoming.
With the Wyomers.
Jesus, in a trailer park in Wheatland, Wyoming. Boy, that was some bleak stuff right there. Wow. I was
depressing.
Depressed. Man, working on the hog farm, and I'm like, oh boy.
Tainted water.
Tainted water. Yeah, I was like, this is bumming me out. So let's get on. Let's pack it up.
All right.
You got all your stuff?
Yeah.
You ready to get your phone charger? You've left it constantly.
We're going somewhere cold, aren't we?
We're going somewhere cold. Get your park on.
Long Johns. Let's go.
Let's go. We are going to Canada.
All right.
Never mind cold.
Perfect.
And haha, by the way, everybody who's like, oh, this state and that state, threw a curveball in at you assholes. That's right. Going to Canada this time.
Long Johns with the butt flap. Let's haul ass.
That's right. Yes, we have some Canadian connections lately, so we're gonna do a Canada episode in honor of this here. We're going to Strathroy, Ontario, Canada. Strathroy, Ontario, Canada. It's southern Ontario. Okay. Ontario is kind of where Toronto is, and all of that, kind of above Buffalo and New York and all that sort of thing. This is where Canada goes slumming. Okay. This is where it dips into U.S. airspace. You know what I mean? And you see it above the Great Lakes there, and you see some Canada dipping down, and you're like, oh boy, those poor bastards practically live in America. Yeah. That's where we're at right now.
Well, I've seen recently on a map that Detroit is damn near Canada.
Detroit pretty much is Canada.
I didn't realize how close it is to Canada. It's legitimately across a lake from it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing.
Across a bridge.
People who live in Toronto and live in Canada, they go, like, they say, oh, we go to Detroit for concerts all the time and all that sort of thing. Like, Detroit is like a accessible city for them right there.
It's right there.
I would have never thought that. To me, like, I don't know. When you think about it, you think of a border as like the solid thing. You wouldn't just drive back and forth across it, but it's like,
that would be
you can,
silly.
I guess. Yeah. Hear that too? People go from like Vancouver to Seattle and back for the night, and I'm like, how do they do that? Because it's fine. That's why.
Because all the Canadians, they crouch right on our border. That's what it is.
They just crouch
real close
the
to
warmest possible area. Get close to that line as you can. It's warm down there, guys.
When you're camping, everybody's around the fire.
Have you seen up north? Yeah. Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Head to the fucking... Just get down by Idaho. We don't care. Doesn't matter if it's a shit state. It's fine.
As close as we get to warmth.
That's right. And this place here, 2.5 hours to Buffalo, about 2 hours, 15 minutes to Toronto, 2 hours to Detroit.
Yeah.
So it's, all these major cities it's within 3 hours of, and about 40 minutes outside of London, Ontario, which is a pretty big city there also. So it's kind of a suburb out in that area there. It's in Middlesex County. This is a big area, 106 square miles for this town.
What is Middlesex named after? Do we even know?
It's a British thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I assumed, but there are so many Middlesex in this
world. There's a lot of everything. It's so funny. England is this little tiny country that everything is named after everywhere in the world.
They just everything else is named after England.
Half of our cities are named after English cities and towns and people and kings and lords and bewigged douchebags from time past. Who knows? Jesus.
I think that's going to be the tattoo I get.
Bewigged douchebags. That's the one. That's the one, everybody.
I like it.
So it's in, like I said, Middlesex County, 106 square miles, and that's because they've they've, as they call it, amalgamated with another town as of 2001. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. 274 kilometers for all you Canadians out there.
Word.
Amalgamated.
It's
adorable. I saw that. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah. I actually was like, I don't know what that means. And then I read it and I was like, oh, context. All right, I get what it means. This is actually there's no, like you say, postal code or zip code we always give. This is a forward sortation area.
Fuck.
It's a geographical region in which all postal codes start with the same three characters. The first letter of an FSA code denotes a particular postal district, which outside of Quebec and Ontario corresponds to an entire province or territory.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly.
That was a lot of words to say they don't have their own.
Their postal code is NG7 or N7G. That's what I meant. It's not a long postal code. It's just a prefix of a postal code.
Just a forward one.
That's pretty much a forward sortation area.
Strange.
I spent an hour on that.
That's so weird.
Who's an asshole here? Area code 519 and 226.
Okay.
And motto. They have a motto.
Fantastic.
Town motto, quote, "We advance." Where?
What?
That's not enough information.
2 words. That's all they're giving us?
That is not enough information.
That sounds like somebody got interrupted.
Yeah, no punctuation, nothing.
There was a dude sitting there writing, "We advance," and they're
he
like...
had a heart attack and died on his desk. And they just put it on the website.
Somebody's like, "There's a moose in the yard." He's like, "I'll come back to this."
It's fine. They were like, "It's the last thing Bill ever wrote. We can't change it. We can't change it. It's the last thing he wrote. Come on."
That's what happened. We advanced.
Legacy.
Bill, there's a moose in the yard. And then he went out there. The moose killed him. And they were like, he wrote this.
They're so damn nice in Canada, too. They were like, well, we can't change his last words. And then they just made it happen. That's it. That's what happened.
Yes.
The town is now Strathroy Caradoc these days here. They merged in 2001, these two towns, for some goddamn reason.
Just
I'm not
recently.
Sure. Yeah, 2001. I don't know why. The industries in this town, big on turkey and chicken hatching and processing. Hatching. And processing.
I've never heard of that being an industry.
There's a turkey, or
obviously it's got to be.
There's a turkeria, I guess you could call it, where they a hatchery, a turkeria. I don't know where that is. Turkeria.
That would be like something
It's a cafeteria
Spanish.
where turkeys eat. That's what that is. They all come on in. They pull up a tray. They move.
I just saw carniceria, like a Spanish.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they only do turkeys. That's it. Only turkeys.
I saw turkeys with their trays on the thing going like a cafeteria where someone's slopping. They're slopping shit on their plates, and they move along. I don't know why that's as mature as I am.
Yeah.
Also, corn, tobacco. There's some pharmaceutical things around here. That sort of thing.
Well, if you farm tobacco, you're going to need some pharmaceuticals.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're going to need something here, and all that chicken and turkey. This is it's a lot of industry here. Okay. There's jobs here, that sort of thing. Now, Strathroy itself, because we're going to talk about that because that's where this all happened, because we're going to go back in time a little bit on this one here. This region itself, though, was settled. They can trace everything back to about 8,000 BC.
Holy shit.
So they go, early, the natives had a lot of the trails for the natives.
I'm an idiot.
You're like, there's people back then?
I'm so fucking stupid. I just heard you say that, and I'm like, well, why didn't they live down here? Of fucking course they did. Holy Christ, I'm dumb.
They're everywhere,
I just
Jimmy.
saw
Everybody's...
the whitest, nicest people from 8,000 BC and going, why didn't those
whitest,
idiots...
nicest people? Ladies and gentlemen, my partner, Andrew Jackson. I just saw nice white people. Not none of these dirty engines. I didn't see no dirty engines.
I mean, the French Canadians. I just saw a bunch of French Canadians up there, and they're just...
With their fire water all over them. I saw nice white people. I didn't see none of that. That's terrible.
Christ, I'm dumb.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like, what? How did they do that?
The French came real early over here.
They claimed all that white shit up there, but then forgot to get the nice part.
That's it.
That's why they fucked up. That's what happened.
That's a problem when that happens here. The native, a lot of the trails that the natives had actually turned into the main roads in the area. Okay. They came in and they were like, "Yeah, good idea." They had it right. Yeah.
They carved it perfect.
That's where I would have put it too.
Perfect town design.
Yeah, nice layout. What is that? No, that's mapping. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into this. It's by the French or by white people here. The Strathroy.
The nice white people.
The nice white people came and settled in 1832. A guy named John Stuart Buchanan.
Yeah.
He had a guy with him named Sir Michael Jacques.
Yeah.
And they started hanging out there.
Yeah.
The Sydenham River, they flowed through there, and that made enough power to power a grist mill.
Oh,
got to get the grist
mill.
mill.
Is a grist mill?
It's for. I had to look this up.
Okay.
I'm saying it like it's like this, but I actually had to look this up. It's any kind of processing of grain, flour mostly, mainly flour is what I got out of the.
These, by the way,
definition.
were not nice white people. These were horrible.
Oh, they were slaughtering people, giving diseases.
Just complete dicks.
The rape, guys, so much. I just rape a native girl, throw her in the woods. It's horrible.
And then they created a grain mill that is showing them, look, we will fucking process the shit out of this wheat.
There for cheap.
You go make the wheat, and we'll process the shit out of it.
That's right.
Or else we'll rape your daughters.
Nice white people. Right. That's what that is.
They're so kind.
They opened. There's a general store opened in 1840.
Yeah.
When a general store opens, that's when you know shit's starting.
Shit's happening.
Yeah, there's enough people to buy shit, so you know what's going on there. Strathroy was finally incorporated as a village in 1860, became a town in 1872, and that is where they found, that's all the way back then is where they got that motto, "We advance."
Really?
Right away, 1872 on. We advance.
It's a fucking war motto. That's what it is.
That's kind of what it is in war, yeah. Yeah, if you heard that from like an army, we advance, you'd be like, okay, there you go.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, it's now this town here, by the way, was named, as we always, these fucking names always, Buchanan, that guy, named it for his hometown of Strathroy in Ireland.
Oh.
So, of course,
didn't even
no originality.
Nothing changed about it or anything. Just
across the ocean,
same
all the way
damn thing.
over. All Strathroy, that's what we're going to call it here. 1866, they got a newspaper, which is a big deal. Once again, you get a newspaper, a general store, things are popping.
Yep.
Now, Sir Arthur Currie was born there. He was the commander of the Canadian forces during World War I in Europe, commander there. He was born in 1875 there. So there's some people that come from here. 1896, the Strathroy Furniture Company opened up.
Okay.
Made furniture for a long time, and everyone loved it, and apparently made some amazing furniture there. Immigration after the World Wars, immigration started here. Okay. Mainly just nice white people. Don't worry, Jimmy. Don't worry. Hungarians, Portuguese, and the Dutch came in a lot.
You know what I was just thinking about is that you said that a newspaper started, and I just started thinking about the de-evolution of journalism.
Oh, yeah,
Isn't it weird that it's like gone the opposite way?
Yeah.
Like when it
the
first
journalism
started,
was terrible back then, too, though. They just made shit up.
Yeah.
They just made up stories.
But now it's just all gossip.
Now it's gossip, yeah.
That's crazy that
you'd think that you give somebody a pen and paper and tell them write the news. They'd write something like so-and-so's fucking so-and-so's wife. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the news people want. That's the sad part. That's when people get together.
Yeah.
When people get together and gossip, they don't talk about politics.
No.
They gossip about
who's fucking who.
Yeah, these two are fucking. Did you know that? Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, and his wife doesn't even know about it. Blah blah blah.
And now that's what journalism has gotten to with TMZ and so-and-so was caught with so-and-so. Whatever.
Well, journalism turned into a business in the 80s. When we never mind. I'm not going to get into the political aspect of it, but when you deregulate media, that's what happens.
My point is that you'd think it would go the opposite way. That it would start with that shit.
It would be an evolution.
And get to and evolve to like just the facts.
It's more like waves.
Yeah.
It goes in waves of
whatever
like journalism's good and then journalism sucks, and it depends on the time period. It's like turn of the 20th century, journalism was awful. It was just the yellow journalism era where they just write anything
at any time, whatever pays.
Because there was 14 newspapers in every city, so they were standing on the corner going, extra. The guy got his head cut off and stuffed it, so they'd all have to make
whatever moves papers.
That's it. Right there. 1954, the most important thing that could happen in a Canadian city happened. The West Middlesex Memorial Arena opened where they could play hockey.
Perfect.
So that's the most important thing there. The Canadians beat the Junior B team, the Strathroy Rockets, 14-3 in that game, which is expected from an NHL team beating a Junior B team. That sort of thing here. The town is home. It's the headquarters of Cuddy Farms, which is the world's top turkey hatching company. Okay. It's the top turkeria in the world.
They make the most.
The most turkeys hatch here, God damn it. 2001, the town's amalgamated with Caradoc here. Now, Strathroy had 12,000 people to its own, and then they added Caradoc's people, and they got about 20,000 people we'll get to. Notable people from this town, by the way, I would say 80% of them on the list are fucking hockey players. Hate to stereotype you guys, Canadians, but when 90% of the notable people from everywhere have to do with hockey, at that point it's on you guys. Yeah. You care way too fucking much about hockey. I'm sorry.
There's no town in America that has 90% football players.
90% basketball players. The only people that came from there. No, this is just all hockey. Hockey and like some parliamentary guy from the 1800s or something. Nothing fancy. Population is just under 21,000 right now. 20,978. That's in Strathroy, Caradoc proper. The whole thing here. 12,000 in Strathroy. Now the stats. Another thing, Canada, guys. Yeah. The stats you guys keep aren't. You have them, but God damn it, are they hard to find? I have to go through like government documents to you need to really get this a little better.
To get like population or like crime
to get everything stats for things. Everything except for population. That's on there, but
that's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's exactly.
But everywhere
that's
else,
easy.
it's like, everything else is awful.
Oh, everything else is really difficult, and the same thing with the case. Jesus Christ, guys, with your records, man, get. Digitize that shit for me, at least. For the love of God. It's like Canada didn't exist before about 2001 on the internet. No documents exist.
Was there a war for the paper records here, too?
I think so, yeah. Like in the other
They just destroyed them all?
Somebody came over from the other town's county seat and was like, we're the county seat now, and just took everything.
We'll take them.
Burned it.
They're ours.
And then did it with every county seat in the entire country. Burned everything. Females outnumber the males here by a little more than average. Weird age groups here. There's a lot of old people. There is more people over 65 than there are under 14.
Really?
Which is that's skewing old, I would say at that point. That's definitely skewing old. The most people are in the group of 50 to 59 years old. Okay. Which that tells you a lot right there. A lot of 60 to 69, a lot of 70 to 79. They have 900 people over 80 in this town, too.
Holy shit.
It's a very old town.
Yeah.
It seems like, as far as that goes. Most of the people speak English here, from what I found. About 135 people speak French, which you would expect. I would expect more than that, honestly.
That's pretty low.
But I think that's their native tongue is what we're talking here, not just what they speak. It
is now.
That's exactly. And then a lot of people speak other languages there also. Many more married than not married. It's way over. Like in Canada, that's the other thing. I couldn't find averages very easily.
Really?
So I'm comparing this to the U.S. and we're different countries, so it's very difficult. Yeah. But here it's about 50-50 on marriage. There it was way more than that as far as married goes. Yeah, a lot of married people. But it's odd because there's so many more married people. But there's an equal number of couples that with and without kids. which is a strange stat, I thought. So they're responsible, I guess, is what they're not knocking each other up willy-nilly up there.
Free health care is what it is.
You think they'd be knocking each other up like crazy then? They can have kids for free.
Well, it's
Pump them out.
The ladies are very careful with their parts, and they watch over them a little more carefully. I don't know how to fucking say it.
They scared of moose invasions or something?
No. I mean,
my wife got raped by a moose last week, and we're moving.
I'm not so sure that one's mine.
That's. I don't think he's got antlers. Let's just say that.
I'm just saying they have health care, and it's very accessible, and they can go get checked. They can get birth control. Right.
They can, that's what you're saying.
They can get a checkup.
They have more control
Right.
Whether than if you live in a Mississippi trailer park or something where you don't have access to health care, and especially
and Bubba's drunk,
good
and you know he's going to be horny. I got to take care of Bubba.
Every time he comes home, he's so horny. He gets in a fight at the bar, comes home horny.
Sit on it, and then he doesn't tell me when he's going to finish, and I'm still sitting. And 9 months later,
next thing you know,
we got Bubba.
We got 6 kids in a single wide, and we'll say that from last week where they had 3 kids in a single wide, which Jesus
and
Christ,
it was tainted water.
It was, and I couldn't even
believe
let
that.
him drink the water.
I can't believe that.
Jobs here, like we said, you can work at the turkeria. The hatchery is open.
You can do that.
There's a lot of other jobs here, a lot of industry. There's a lot of pharmaceutical sales. Like we said, they manufacture drugs there. A lot of trade-related things, I guess, because it's down on the border. So there's probably a lot,
intercontinental shit,
in and out shipping and that sort of thing.
Not intercontinental.
Not the intercontinental champion.
No.
The intercontinental champion lives there.
Jesus, I'm an idiot today. I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No.
That's the most honest thing ever. I don't know what I'm doing. I wish more people in this world
just say it
would
like
just
that.
Stop and go, I don't know what I'm doing. You ever gone out and watched somebody struggle with something?
Right.
Like watch like a waiter try to fill an order, and you're just like, if he just stopped and said, "Excuse, I don't know what I'm doing," it would make everyone feel better. I feel like we'd all go, "Okay, so we're all on the same page." We thought you knew what you thought you knew what you were doing, which scared me. Honestly.
Next time you're sat down by HR and they go, why did you do? I don't know what I'm doing.
I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Clearly, or I wouldn't have done that, obviously. That's what
I did tell the nurses that when they told me after 2 days to go ahead and take my child home. You're going to be released and discharged now. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know how to do that.
I'm not leaving unless one of you fucks are coming with me. Because this is going to die.
Help us.
This is going to die.
We're going to leave it somewhere. It's just going to... I don't know what to do.
Where's the closest fire
I
department?
hope she does.
Right. I pray to Christ she knows what she's doing.
I hope being pregnant gives you magic.
Right.
Magic knowledge
that I can't absorb.
I don't know.
Right.
My God. Median household income here, and this is in Canadian dollars, I assume, which there's an exchange rate. It was about 70% of U.S. money right now, I believe.
To me, worthless.
I think it's 71 cents to the dollar or something like that. But their median household income here is about $71,500, which in America it's about $54,000. But if you take away the 30%, I think it's close. It's close to that. It's about the same. Yeah. It's an average place. It's an average suburb of a big city. It feels like it's like outside of Minneapolis or something. Honestly, when I did all the research on this town, that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like an exotic foreign place, but it's Canada. There's no exotic foreign place.
Nothing exotic
unless you go into like Yukon territory. Right. There's a 14-foot snowdrift. Right. That's exotic.
That's exotic as fuck.
That's exotic. I don't know anything about that here. But there's also a lot of people with a lower income here that I've noticed. A lot in the like $20,000 to $40,000 range.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot like $10,000 to $20,000, which I assume is probably students, elderly people, things like of that nature.
Sure.
I would imagine also. Cost of living, can't find cost of living for shit. Like as far as the indexes and that sort of thing. It was very difficult to find that. So we'll just do it even up like we're talking about America here. The average monthly shelter cost for an owned dwelling there. That's what that's what I mean. Simplify this shit.
It sounds so basic.
Is 1,021 Canadian dollars. So that seems about like here. The median value of a home in this area is about $250,000, which is higher than the 185 here. But once again, you take the 30%.
Right.
It's Minneapolis suburb right here. And if we've convinced you that no other place for you will do except for Strathroy, Ontario, Canada, we have for you the Strathroy, Ontario, Canada Real Estate Report. we have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, lovely small brick home. It's L-shaped.
How many square feet?
They do not. This is the other thing on these. Every Canadian listing, they do not list square feet.
What the fuck?
There's no square footage. There's not even like a square kilometer. There's nothing. There's no measurement of how big it is. It just tells you.
Put it in centimeters for you?
It tells you bedrooms and baths, and then you're Canadian and you should know. That's it. You just go, oh, that's good enough for me.
A bedroom and a bathroom, they're all the same size here.
That's good enough for me. That's okay. Like, you know,
it's got a toilet and 2 beds.
It's got 4 baths, 4 beds. That's good. That's all right. We'll make do. Like, I feel like that's what they do. We'll make do. It's good.
They're so nice.
They're so nice. It also has an attached workshop.
Fantastic.
$239,900. I found a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home.
Wow.
No idea how big it is, but it looks pretty damn big here. New roof and new hardwood floors in this bad boy. $399,900. Very nice. Then
that's like $1,450 here.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. And I also found a 6-bedroom, 4-bath, super weird looking house with like a funky like design in the front. Super weird and different. Pretty cool looking damn house. $499,000 up there. It's a big house too. Like I said, 6-bedroom, 4-bath. So get your ass up there to Canada and get in on that. Things to do.
Okay.
Things to do might just make you move to Canada and buy one of these homes here. Strathroy is home to the Strathroy Hometown Turkey Festival.
Of course it is.
As if you didn't know here. It's Strathroy's largest event. It's also known as Turkey Fest. And that's in June. I have a couple of. Let's see how they describe it, shall we? It is sure to be a terrific year for the festival with plenty of exciting attractions, including the fabulous Show and Shine car show, kicking off the weekend featuring over 300 cars and motorcycles in the downtown streets of Strathroy.
Wow.
They got cars down. We're going. Get the kids. Get them in the truck. Plus, very popular events like Karaoke Idol, a full assortment of vendors in our local lane, a wide range of entertainment on our beer garden main stage, and an awesome midway that was new to the festival last year and received positive community response. And, of course, the traditional carnival games, cotton candy, and ice cream.
Jesus.
That's not it, though, because I found an ad
You are selling it. That's not all.
That's not all. I found an ad for a band that was playing this, that they were advertising that they're going to be in this festival. This is Canada's Kiss tribute band, Sonic Boom.
Oh, my God. I've heard of them.
You have?
They fucking tour America, too.
Wow. They'll be there headlining night 2 of the festival, Saturday, June 17th.
If you can't get enough of the real Kiss, when Kiss doesn't come to your town,
we
fucking will.
We got these guys.
For a fucking discounted rate.
And they say, quote, we can't wait to rock Strathroy like never before.
Because Kiss has never been to Strathroy.
Strathroy's own Basement Bound will be opening the show, so they got like a local opener. They're throwing $50 like he's a comic.
Basement Bound, that's
They're going to do 2 fucking songs up front. Quote, we want to see all capitalized of the Western Ontario Kiss Army out at this one.
Oh, my God.
You're not Kiss, sir.
The Kiss Army.
You are
the
Sonic
Kiss
Boom.
Army show up for the not Kiss.
Not Kiss. This sucks. You're not Kiss. What the fuck? But they're so nice in Canada, they just be like, they think they're Kiss.
They're trying real hard.
Just tell them they're Kiss. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe they think they're really Kiss. I wouldn't want to really ruin them, you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to ruin their psyche. So nice up there, goddamn.
So they've got a car show, fake Kiss. They've got
turkeys. Watch the turkeys hatch, everybody.
And carnival games.
That's it.
This is fucking
largest festival in town, guys. Woohoo!
They've got a fucking Ren Fair.
That's it.
They've got the Ren Fair with Kiss.
There's turkey legs too. There's big giant turkey legs. That's probably all they have. Crime rate. Well, we're interested in this town. It's low crime rate here, actually. Well, compared to America. See, that's the thing. In Canada, I don't know what the crime rates are. Compared to here, it's a wonderland. It's like Disneyland up there. And it's so cute too. I found a local crime map, and it had little icons of the crimes on it, and it's so Canadian and adorable, I have to say. They had little icons for the crimes. They had a little weed leaf for a drug offense, which I found offensive. How about a needle? Put a needle on there.
How about something fucking that hurts people?
How about a needle? For theft, they had a little dude, like a little silhouette of a dude with a sack over his shoulder, like Santa got busted. It was very adorable, I have to say. So, low crime rate.
They go to fucking Microsoft Paint and just find some cheap fucking icons.
It was like a silhouette of a chimney sweep that got greedy. You know what I mean? That's what it was. Swear to God. Now, Strathroy there. Now let's go back in time. We talked about Strathroy. We talked about current day. We talked about this. Back then, there was only about 5,000 people in Strathroy.
Okay.
It's a much smaller town, about half the size. We're going to go all the way back. we've gone through the plane notes. Calendar pages are flipping. They're going back, and clocks are spinning, and we're spinning around.
Lots
and
of clouds
and things happening, all the way back to 1974.
Holy shit!
We're gonna go. Let's go back in time, guys. We've been doing a lot of
stuff,
current in the last 10 years lately, and I was like, I need that 70s feel again.
Yeah,
we need that dirty 70s. Grimy, everybody with
your
big
pheromones reeking out of your dick
and just sticking in your giant bush of pubic hair. You know what I mean? Just one of those.
But tight enough jeans so that stuff doesn't come out until you open the fly,
and then it blossoms like a flower at that point. It's just pube flower.
Can
Bang.
you imagine?
Take that to the turkeria.
That's a great time to be alive too, because everybody looked like they had a huge dick. It was just all a quaff of curlies,
tight pants and pubes. Yeah, nowadays, the last few years, it's tight pants, but everyone's got no pubes, so that's not going to help.
So it just looks like Ken dolls.
Yes, exactly. Can we loosen up the pants a little bit?
I hope they do.
Just a drop.
I hope they do.
I just want to
just an inch. Just
take
an
my
inch
balls to
out.
be comfortable. Is that possible? Can I have my balls comfortable and not look like a fucking weirdo? Is that a thing?
I don't want a ball on each side of the seam. I don't enjoy that.
I don't need that. That's not good. So anyway, we're going back March 1st, 1974.
Yeah.
Now Strathroy, like I said, different time, different place. Canada now, as you can imagine, is considered pretty damn safe.
Yeah.
Like it's, I know people that are Canadian, and I know people that don't lock their doors that live in cities in Canada.
Really?
They're just like, you don't need to. Like it's just and I know there's crime up there, and there's horrible things that happen everywhere, but way less. Like Toronto, for a big city comparable to one of our big cities, there's nothing like it. There's not
crazy.
It's just there's nothing like it, and there is crime and there's poverty and there's all that sort of thing. But compared to America, it is just like, wow, this is quaint.
That's nuts to me, though.
Yeah.
It's a big city. How does it? We live in a pretty big city here.
Yeah, 5 million people.
We just had a fucking serial killer caught last week.
Well, they have that, but
I didn't even know about this guy. I've been locking my doors for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't even put this fucker on the news until they caught him.
No, but this is a different time and a different place. And this is, like I said, now in Canada, everybody's nice and everyone's not. And I think, too, their media is a lot different. Their media doesn't pump out. It's not constant bleeds, it leads media there also, which I've seen their news and stuff. It's way different than it is here.
Okay.
Way fucking different than it is here.
Do they do the weather topless, that kind of news?
No. They do serious news, serious, adults. That's what they do. They don't have and we'll find out right now what's going on with Hugh Jackman. No, that's not the fucking news, okay? You could keep your brownie recipes to yourself.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. It's
We're
not
show
horseshit.
You video of the maids doing horrible shit in your hotel room.
What are the Real Housewives of New Orleans up to this week? Let's find out after the break. That's not what they're doing up there. It's like British news. If you watch British news, if you watch the BBC, and I think a lot of that too is because I guess this is not political, but it's government funded.
Yeah.
So they have the rules are you have to be serious. You can't just go fuck off. And the other thing is they don't have to make a profit, so they're not going after.
That would be great.
Well, that's how it was in this country until the 90s.
Okay.
Until the 80s. I see. This is what I mean. Don't want to be political.
Don't make it political.
It's not political.
Just
the party that was in charge in the 80s
yes.
decided that it was a good idea to make media entertainment, basically. They decided that
it's not political. That's called honesty.
They decided equal time wasn't a good idea.
Right.
We had equal time clauses and all that sort of thing. They decided that wasn't a good idea, and that's where Fox News came from, by the way, and also MSNBC and all, on both sides. And this isn't a political thing,
CNN
like I said.
too. Right.
It's everything. Okay, never mind all of this. Never mind all of that. What I'm saying is the news up there is different. People are less scared. It's a different thing completely. That took way longer than I wanted to say the news is different, but you get what we're saying here. March 1st, 1974.
I want to go the BBC route of
I love it. I love
topless
watching that.
news or topless.
They don't do that on the BBC.
Topless weather. What is that
that's
one?
That's in Scandinavian countries.
That's the one I want. I don't care if it's dudes or women. I just think it's
in
fucking
Western
hysterical
Europe. That's
and it's freeing.
I'm
fucking
sure
do it that
in
way.
Estonia, they just tell the woman doesn't even want to.
Yeah.
They're just like, you do topless.
You do
and
topless.
she's like, okay, I do topless.
I don't want to get stoned.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, there. She's like, okay, I do. Or else she's going to be.
She talks.
Okay, I do.
She talks like she smokes.
She does. She's from Estonia.
I don't think she's allowed, actually.
No, she's like, you smoke more, keep you skinny. That's what they say. Keep you skinny, keep breasts looking good and perky. Yeah. You go out and say, partly cloudy here in my breast, and then you come back. We give you more cigarettes. Okay, camera on. You go action. That's how it works over there.
You go action. Holy shit.
I think I captured that guy's essence.
Wow, that was perfect.
So March 1st, 1974.
And that guy in America directs porn. Go on.
Yes, exactly. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our favorite sponsors, Leesa Mattresses.
Leesa.com.
Leesa.com. Leesa is a fantastic company that makes a fantastic product. We both have these mattresses. I threw my mattress out,
so good.
Tossed it, and that's our mattress that we sleep on. It's wonderful. And this company's fantastic, too. They're driven by the mission to, quote, provide a better place to sleep for everybody. And they do that also. Leesa donates one mattress to a shelter for every 10 mattresses they sell through their 110 program.
Unbelievable.
Over 22,000 mattresses have been donated so far. Order now. American-made mattresses shipped compressed in a box to your door. Try the mattress in your own home for 100 nights, risk-free, with free shipping always. Free. You cannot beat that. These are fantastic, well-priced, excellent mattresses.
It's a great company that provides a great mattress.
These mattresses are available in the United States, UK, Canada, and Germany. They are going to give you, our listeners, a break on the price right here if you order now. $100 off the Leesa mattress of your choice, Leesa.com/STM. The promo is STM. Very easy. Leesa.com/STM. Promo code STM. $100 off the most comfortable mattress you're ever going to find.
Leesa.com. And now back to our show.
March 1st, 1974. There's a 19-year-old young lady named Judith Barksley.
Okay.
She's at a pizza restaurant in Strathroy. And this is why I say all that was for a reason. We mentioned all of that in the news and people being less scared because it's a different time. She leaves a pizza restaurant. It's at night.
Yeah.
It's a chilly, cold, really cold night, too. It's
fucking
March 1st.
Canada.
Yeah, March 1st in Canada is a
June in Canada is still chilly.
Yeah, like almost summer, eh?
It's sweater time still.
It's the 1st to the 14th of August. We're going to have a hell of a time there. That's going to be a good one. It's going to be summer like you've never seen before.
We'll play in the salt remnants of the snow.
I'm going swimming. I'm going to go see Sonic Boom over at the Turkey Festival, eh? They're opening the hatcheria to the public. So,
holy shit.
She is leaving a pizza place at night, and she's 19 years old. So, I mean, she's not like a little kid, but she has no ride.
Right.
It's dark, and people here are scared to walk in the dark at 19, home in a city and that sort of small town, but still, like, it's dark but they
especially women.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Women don't want to fucking walk alone.
No, I don't
dark.
fucking blame them either.
That.
I don't blame them.
No.
But I mean, this is a small town in Canada right now. You couldn't feel any safer, probably. The thing she was afraid of was the cold. That's all she cared about. That's all she thought about. She wanted to get home quickly.
Yeah.
So rather than take the path on the streets, she decided to cut across some railroad tracks and take a shortcut to her house because she was freezing.
Yeah.
Like I said, we see that and we're like, oh, God, no.
Yeah,
but
don't do that.
1974 in a small town in Canada, that was just like, oh, hope a moose doesn't get you. Like, that was the danger.
Yeah.
They were way more afraid you're going to be eaten by animals than
There's
attacked
rabid
by
beaver
people.
over there, eh?
Yeah. Hey, watch out for that. Our awful Canadian accents. By the way, we forgot to mention this at the top of the show.
We know Dick.
We know Dick. We don't pretend to know Dick.
Right.
We hope that you find our ignorance charming. That's what we're going for here, Canada. And they're
getting a lot of stereotypes today.
Yes, that's all we know. And they're so nice up there. They'll be like, "That's okay.
That's all right.
That's fine, guys.
We've heard it a lot.
We get it. Yeah. It's okay. There's beavers on our money, so we get a lot of jokes.
Goddamn beaver bucks."
So yeah, she cuts across the railroad tracks. As she's walking, she has no idea that she's being followed because it's dark out. And I can't imagine the, off the main paths, a small Canadian town in the 70s being super well lit across railroad tracks and by woods and things. So she's going and has no idea that someone is following her.
That's crazy that she has no idea because in the 80s you had a Walkman.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the 70s, what the fuck did you have? You had no portable tape player.
And I assume it's quiet.
You don't got a phone to be staring at with your plenty of fish.
I assume, nothing like that. You're not dicking around looking down.
With your plenty of moose, whatever it is
up
there.
Plenty of moose. Plenty of beaver, which would probably be the more appropriate one.
I'll bet that one exists.
That probably exists up there. That's the sad part. That's their Tinder.
Plenty of beaver.
Plenty of beef. We got apps up here too,
Holy Christ.
So she's walking, and out of nowhere, she just thinks she's cold, and she's just concentrating on getting home, and she is grabbed from behind.
Oh, fuck.
She's grabbed by the hair.
Oh, my God.
And dragged down to the ground, down to the concrete here. It was a very, very, very quick thing. This person, 1 second she's walking, next second she's grabbed by the hair, dragged to the asphalt, and quickly has her throat cut. Fast.
Holy shit.
She wouldn't have even known what happened to her. She went from walking to having her throat cut in half a second. Like, it was that fast.
Sweet Pete.
No idea what was going on, which is horrible. She's lying there bleeding in a cold Canadian, which just sounds horrible, man.
Your blood goes cold so fast, too, in that kind of weather.
Lonely. It's got to be scary, is what I'm getting at. Scary, lonely, cold. A bad way to go, is what I'm saying.
You feel that trickle. When blood is cold, that trickle is so fucking creepy. Go on.
This is a bad way to go.
Let's get past this part.
It gets. You want to hear something worse?
Oh, I don't.
Let's hear something worse. Okay, this is horrible, man. There's a lot of stuff in this one. A lot of these things we're uncomfortable with, details and things like that. And we're uncomfortable with them, and you're uncomfortable with them too. But they're in the case, and you have to know. It's one of those things. So we don't enjoy it. Let's just say that. We're not like, let's talk about the details. So as she's dying there,
it's a deep cut.
He slashed her throat.
My God.
She's dying. It wasn't a little slash. It was he got her good.
Yeah.
And what this person does, her attacker, unbuttons her pants and fondles her.
Oh my God.
As she's dying in the cold, bleeding to death, he says,
imagine.
I'm just going to, but doesn't, have intercourse with her or anything like that. Just fondles her, and then he robs her. Also takes everything he can find off her. Yes, that's
This is crazy.
First of all, I think he flipped that around.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to do that, it would be
robbery, fondle, slash.
Then slash. I would
That's
assume.
the order.
But this is a guy when you talk about serial killers and talk about killers that escalate. Not an escalation thing, but a lot of times this is an unsure killer.
Yeah.
This is a person who had to do a blitz attack because he
immobilized the person.
He didn't know how else to do it, how else to go about it. So it's a quick thing.
Yeah.
This was his, going after it like that. I feel like it was one of those. So this person runs away, leaves her there to die in the cold.
Yeah.
She's not found till noon the next day.
Sweet fucking Christ.
Noon the next day, a guy who was cutting across the railroad tracks to go mail a letter in town, stumbled across her body there. Around her was there was just garbage all over there too. There was garbage. There was like a pizza.
It's where people don't walk.
A pizza box. There's like soda bottles and like chocolate bar wrappers and things like that. Just like stuff strewn about.
The worst.
There was a lot of litter back then, by the way.
Somebody's daughter.
And somebody's daughter. But I mean, just everywhere. The 70s were before they had those commercials. People just littered and threw shit out everywhere. So this poor girl.
I mean, I still do.
You're an asshole. This poor girl is. They find her body there. That's horrible. So poor Judith is Judith Barksley. That's her. That's March 1st, 1974.
Okay.
So this makes everyone in town a little uncomfortable. They're not used to 19-year-old girls being murdered in the darkness for no reason.
Yeah. One injury, by the way.
Yeah, that's it.
Just
one
the one
slash to the throat.
It was that deep and dispatched that fast.
That was it. Dragged her to the ground, slashed her throat, and then went from there with everything. Now, some time goes by and it's quiet.
Yeah.
Not completely quiet, but quiet. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a minute, because there are parallel things happening here that we don't know about.
Okay.
That these people involved don't know about, but everyone's contributing to a common theme we'll talk about, and that is serial murder.
Okay.
So we'll get into this here. September 1975, so this is about 15 months later, an 18-year-old woman named Rosalie Winters, she is heading toward Alexandra Park. She's just walking, same thing, just walking along, just an 18-year-old going to a park. She's tackled to the ground.
Okay, so hold on. Park, like where swings and shit are at?
Yeah, a park.
Okay.
Yeah, a park, Alexandra Park. I don't know where that is. It's in Strathroy somewhere.
Okay.
But she's walking toward their 18-year-old young lady in September. It's probably nice outside.
Yeah.
It's, nice for Canada. It's 48 degrees, maybe, tops. That was the high that
warm
day.
Summer night.
Yeah, it's an 18-degree low. But, they're like, it's not bad.
It's great.
You put on your light parka, you go out there. It's a good time, I tell you. It's not bad. You go see Sonic Boom and you have fun. That's all. Go watch the turkeys hatch.
Be careful, though. That tryptophan will make you sleep on the park bench.
It'll make you sleep, boy. I'll tell you something right now.
What the fuck?
I like our two Canadian guys sitting on a bench. We have Canadian guys that just sit on a bench
just sit there and bullshit.
Hey, I'll tell you, boy, look at that right there. That's something.
It's a little nip in the night air.
You feel that? That's a little much. Is the Leafs game on, or what are we doing?
I got a pocket full of nuts. You want some for the squirrel? I just carry nuts everywhere.
I'm missing the whole first period. I got to get inside. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be 1-0 by now. I'm missing all the action.
Fucking exciting hockey.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Oh, that's hilarious. So this Rosalie Winters, let's get our jokes in now because they're going to be hard to make.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough for a while here on this one. So
you say serial murder, and I know this show's going to be a bit of a downer.
This is going to be a downer. This is going to be a definite downer. You're going to get pissed off at a lot of it, and it's a crazy goddamn story. And it's one of these stories that you don't hear a lot.
Yeah.
Most of the time, a lot of these serial killers are really...
Oh, they're super publicized.
You know what? Not to talk shit about other podcasts, but we get it. We get it. The BTK fucking killer exists. We
Holy
understand.
shit. Who?
Really? Is there a Now, tell me again about that Dahmer fellow, because I've heard of him, but I haven't really heard anyone explain it to me in an audio format for an hour and a half. Oh, wait, yes, I have. Fucking everybody.
Are you telling me Madeline McCann is still missing? Really?
Yeah, no
She's still
shit.
Missing? Really?
I mean, I get it. That's how you get...
Yeah, they're fascinating stories.
And that's how you get listens, too, because that jacks you.
Right.
And we don't... Obviously, we don't give a shit about that.
Right.
Because I pick the most obscure goddamn things I can find.
You pick obscure things, and at the top of the show, you tell people, don't fucking listen.
Don't listen. Here's some shit you've never heard of. We want to compete. Right. That's what we're doing. So, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with us? And then we're going to talk shit about the people
we want to compete
who play the game correctly.
Right,
and we're like, no, goddamn, we're going to do it our way. We're fucking indie, man. We're Fugazi in '87. You know what I mean?
Give me your vape pen.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what we're. But it's true though. This is I didn't see anybody else covering this, so here we are.
Want to compete?
It's true. That's how dumb we are.
Holy shit!
They're like, yeah, well, stories you've heard of and you want to hear. Nope, we got this guy. Never heard of him. Listen anyway.
My glasses are foggy. I'm laughing too hard.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Okay, let's see here.
Rosalie Winters is 18 and heading toward Alexandra Park, and she's tackled to the ground.
So this is the second one under 20 years old.
Second one under 20 years old, walking just in a normal area where people walk and being immediately tackled to the ground.
Yeah.
This time... It's a little more advanced than last time. Yeah. Last time, as we remember, that hair pull, throat slash, and then he fondled her.
And then he did whatever he wanted to do.
This time, and by the way, she notices that he has long hair.
Okay.
She sees that he has, but it's the 70s. Everybody's got long hair. Right. Politicians have everyone's got long hair in the 70s, literally. Ted Knight had long hair in the fucking 70s. You know what I mean? Like, everyone had long hair in the 70s. Right. It's ridiculous. So, he tells her that he intends to rape her.
Yeah.
He makes his intentions known. He starts to choke her. So she stops struggling to get him to stop choking her.
Sure.
She chose, I'd rather not get choked to death here. Let's survive this encounter, which is... I don't know. I don't know what you would... I can't imagine the horror going through your mind at that point, especially just not knowing... That's what he says his intentions are, but you don't know if his intentions are to kill her. You have no fucking idea what his intentions are.
You've heard of killers giving
rape
intention.
Isn't bad enough,
right?
You know what I mean?
You've heard of killers giving intention. If you want to live, you'll do what I say. They do what they say, and then they still die.
Guess what? Maybe not an honest guy. Someone who's tackling a woman in a parking lot and telling he's going to rape her. He might not be the most honest guy.
He may not be honest.
Yeah, he lied to me. Yeah, so
crazy.
Fuck, man. So this poor Rosalie Winters is down on the ground. He's squeezing her neck. He eases up a little when she stops.
That's
struggling. He tries to undo her pants. As he does, he broke her zipper.
Okay.
The zipper broke.
Yeah.
So he got super pissed off at that.
What the fuck?
Like it's her fault, for Christ's sake. The zipper broke. He gets super fucking mad at this. And it chokes her unconscious.
What the fuck? It's not her fault. It's Levi's fault.
No, he's so mad. He chokes her unconscious and then groped her more, like the first one, and then leaves though. Doesn't slash her throat. Doesn't do anything. But she's seen him. Also, she knows what he looks like. And so he let her go. So that is, I let her go, but he left her there.
A little worse for the wear.
And the other thing is, who knows if he's an inexperienced guy, when she went out, he probably thought she was dead.
Yeah,
exactly.
In
a movie, you choke someone,
right?
And then when they go they're dead then.
Right.
They don't go unconscious and then die in a movie. Right. So he might have, especially in the 70s, now there's a little more realism and violent scenes in movies, but back then, you choke a guy, he's alive, he's struggling, and he dies suddenly. Right. So maybe he probably was like, oh, got her, okay, good. Right. Yeah. So, but he didn't. He
Heads
left
up,
her there.
they don't die like that.
No, that's not how people die, usually.
Heads up, movies are a bit sensationalized.
Yeah, no shit. So Rosalie gets left there, and that's September of 1975. So by now it's only been a couple, but there's more in the area that we'll discuss later. But people are starting to get freaked out.
Yeah.
And this is the mid-'70s. This is when even a responsible news outlet would have to cover tons of. This is when the 70s is when the serial killing became. This is when shit became just public knowledge in the just lexicon of everything. This is when Zodiac Killer, had sent all these letters and people knew about it. There's so many active things going on.
Shortly after Manson is when it really fucking exploded.
Up, man.
Yeah.
It blew up. Yeah. For some reason, they've never been able to figure out exactly what the hell caused that.
Right.
Because it was just that one period of time.
It was crazy. And there are so many serial killers that you've never heard of.
Oh, God.
Like
this one.
Yeah.
What we're going to talk about.
Dozens of them.
There's so many of them.
It's crazy.
There's so many of them. They're everywhere. And obviously the highway system was a big deal. People get in and out. And we know
also,
that. But
it's kind of like the movie Scary Movie. You can do one and it's great, and then eventually they fucking get boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So eventually you just go, I get it. A bunch of people killed a bunch of people.
It just, kind of
and you lose interest.
So the town is a little bit freaked out now. We have a dead girl who was groped, and we have a girl who someone attempted to rape, but in the same fashion as the first one, same MO minus the throat slashing, which is a big deal.
A busted Jordache jean zipper.
And a busted, it's the 70s, so maybe Jordache will say.
Well, probably.
Who knows? So
something with bell bottoms,
yes,
for sure.
Definitely. Right. October 20th, actually it's Canada. They're probably about 15 years behind. Yeah. So she probably was, she's lucky she didn't have a poodle skirt on at that point.
55.
So Canada's slightly more ahead than Mexico. Right. This is one of those things. You ever go to Mexico? They are 30 years behind.
You betcha.
30
it's
mustaches
weird.
and members-only jackets and like 80s mustaches, though. Not douchey, hipstery ones that are like novelty.
Push broom.
Push broom.
Some Burt Reynolds shit.
Members only, and they're like, this is good.
Trans Am.
This is good. So, October 20th, 1975, there is a woman named Louise Jenner.
Okay.
She lives in Mount Bridges, which is an area right there in town. She gets an unexpected knock at the door at her apartment.
Uh-huh.
She opens the door, and it's a guy that she knows.
Okay.
It's a guy that she actually considers a handsome guy, a guy that she's friends with. She's a married woman. She has a baby in the house and everything. But she knows this guy, and so she sees it's him. It's a guy named Christian Herbert McGee. Okay? She looks at him. He's there. They're friends.
Yeah.
He's a 27-year-old guy. He's from the area.
Yeah.
He's also was acquainted with Judith Barksley and Rosalie Winters.
Okay.
Known them. So that's interesting here. McGee also has 2 kids at this point. He's 27, 2 kids. He's married.
Yeah.
He's got a 3-year-old boy named Christopher and a 1-year-old girl named Tracy.
Yeah.
So 70s, that's normal. I guess I didn't have 2 kids by the time I was then, but
Me neither.
No, it's so he knocks on the door. He knows this person. She doesn't know why he's there.
Okay.
It's unannounced.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too. I feel like in the 70s you could just show up a little easier at people's doors because the communication wasn't the same.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, why didn't you text me and tell me you were here?
Exactly.
It's the 70s.
Right.
That's why, asshole. You had the hi-fi on. You might not have heard the house phone. Sorry. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, who knows what back then. And it's so funny, whenever we cover 70s stories, there's a lot of popping in and popping out.
There is.
Everywhere. It's he popped over, he just went over to this guy's apartment. Everyone just went over, knocked on people's
around.
Don't come to my house unless you tell me you're coming. Ever.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to. Thank God times have changed.
I got a friend that disconnected their doorbell, and every time somebody comes over, he goes, he sees them through the big picture window. They can't see in because it's tinted and mirrored, but he sees them come up, and he says, they came up and touched my house because there's no doorbell. They just come up and touch his house and stand there, and then eventually they walk away.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't want people at my fucking house.
I don't unannounced friends.
No.
Friends, especially, we're talking salesmen, things like that. I don't want my friends just coming over unannounced. announce.
No,
Let me
thank you.
plan something.
Yeah.
Tell me. I'm doing something. I'm busy always.
Yeah.
Just know that. Even if I'm not, I
I
am.
have so much shit going
I got
on.
a lot of shit going on. Leave me the fuck alone. So McGee here, he's at the door.
He goes by Chris, doesn't he?
He goes by Chris.
Of course he does. Because when you
McGee.
said his brother's name or his son's name is Christopher, I was like, he goes by Chris, and he hates his first fucking name, so he named that kid Christopher.
Christopher, not Christian.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And
He's
his
like,
middle name is Herbert, which
right.
I goddamn hope he did
the
not
worst.
pass on to anybody.
No.
Nobody wants to be named Herbert.
No.
So she invites him inside.
Okay.
It's the 70s. I guess you invite people in when they come over. You say, hey, let's put on an ABBA album and let's fucking rock it out, I guess. I don't know what you do in Canada. Russia's new stuff just came out.
Right. You're goddamn right.
You know, that's what it was. Yeah. Russia's brand new, and they're good, I tell you, boy. They're going to be something. I'll tell you right now. Rush, I see big things in their future.
One day there's going to be a podcast that has an agency that reps the same fucking band.
That's hilarious. Oh man! So she invites Christian inside.
Yeah.
He comes on in. Old Christian Herbert McGee.
Yeah.
A little bit about McGee. He's an interesting fella. I mean, it sounds like just a married guy with 2 kids who is considered handsome by some. You'd say, oh, that seems fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's going to come over, smoke a joint, and put some of those giant big headphones on they had in the 70s, and I don't know, listen to Simple Man over and over again. I have no idea what they would do. I don't know if they listened to
I wasn't
Skinner
born
up there,
yet. I'm just assuming the 70s were just nomadic. Everybody had a day job, too. Everybody was working.
Everybody's wandering around with giant headphones on.
If they weren't at work, they just had
pants.
Huge headphones and wandered from house to house.
With stupid pants on.
With a fucking weird shirt.
Dumb shoes.
The sleeves were so fucking
Huge
big.
sleeves.
What is that about?
Shoes with no laces.
Super tight on the chest, and then,
good.
like, the forearm was just baggy as fuck.
Yeah, like a pirate. We're going to get into that again. Like Seinfeld's puffy shirt. That's what we need.
So bizarre.
Let's bring that.
Right.
Now, McGee, a little bit on his background. He is born to his parents broke up when he was younger, when he was very little. But that's probably better because his father was an abusive lunatic.
Okay.
Both his parents were abusive, actually.
Right.
So he grew up in a very abusive environment, described as a completely loveless home.
You mean the 60s?
Yeah, just how you treated your kid. Well, he was born in 1948.
Oh, no shit.
So,
he grew up through the 50s.
Through the 50s.
Even worse.
Yeah, beating your kid was considered paying attention to him. Right. That was good parenting.
That was spending time.
Yeah, I spent some time with my kid. I kicked his ass this morning. He spilt something.
He's got a steak on his face.
Yeah, don't you know that? That's a real 50s thing. He's got a steak.
Jammed a piece of fucking
He's got a
raw
steak
beef
on his eye. That's how bad
face.
I whooped his ass. And the people go, good for you. That's a good dad. Send my kids over there to hang out with you for a while. Like, oh, okay. You could hit other people's kids back then.
As long as you brought a T-bone with you.
That's it. No kid wandered into your yard, cut up. You could beat his ass, and his parents would thank you from across the street. Thank you. That kept me from having to go over there and slap him. I appreciate
Saved
that.
me the time.
Oh, that Bob's a sweetheart, man. He saw little Johnny, just smacked him right across the face. Used the back of his hand too. Really let him know there's a little sting to it. You know what I'm saying? That's the 50s.
Oh, fuck.
That's how he grew up. But apparently, this was worse than most.
Okay,
this
was
a
punches.
particularly abusive environment here. Later on, too, in his marriage with his 2 kids, he'll follow in that footsteps of having no love at all in the marriage and just being complete robot people. Yeah, he doesn't understand. I guess if you grew up in that environment, how would you understand?
Yeah, it's just learned behavior.
And especially back then, being demonstrative wasn't considered a real
taboo,
positive anyway. And I guess after the 60s, but I'm not sure how. See, that's the other thing too. I'm not sure how the 60s affected Canada.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like in here, you could almost put the 60s as like a reason for part of the serial killer culture and all this sort of thing.
It's also like an awakening, and like people are like, "Fuck it, let's just do drugs."
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how much of that happened in Canada
there,
because I know they weren't. Most of the 60s came from Vietnam, and they didn't have that big thing to fight against. So I don't know if they did anything.
Because they just sat around laughing.
Hey, we're fine. Hey, it's good. They sat around with short hair, listening to Perry Como, going, I don't know. Hey, it's good. Hey, give me another moose lager, would you? And that's all they do. You know.
Right now they were raising that super nice chick singer. What's her name? I don't know her name. Bryan Adams was being raised right now up there.
He was.
That super nice chick, Celine Dion. That's it. She's up there.
Celine Dion.
Listen,
Good God.
I didn't say she was a great singer. I just said she's super nice.
She's not nice. She seems like a horrible person.
Really?
Horrible.
I don't know. She sings sweet songs.
She seems like she would tell everyone not that works for it. They're not allowed to make eye contact with her. You know what I mean?
Right.
So she seems like, do not look at me or my big camel toe and my pants.
And my weird nose.
And my weird nose.
Right.
My husband is dead. I think I covered everything I know about Celine Dion. That's it.
She
Dead
probably
husband,
beats people
camel toe.
with
seems mean.
bedazzled fucking phones. Like, what, is that Tyra Banks that did that?
I don't remember.
I forget
No, it was the other. It was the model.
Tyra Banks was a model.
The other one, though. The other model. What the hell is her name? Damn it! It's Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, she's
all
the one
right,
who-
bang.
I'm like, I can see
Somebody
it.
on the other end of this is going, it's Naomi Campbell, you
thank
couple of
idiots.
dickwads.
Yeah, one of our female listeners for sure. I'm
Whatever.
positive.
I imagine Celine Dion's done that.
Oh, yeah.
Bejeweled.
Yeah, but in Canada, they're nice enough not to say
Right.
anything about it. They're like, well, hey,
Hey, she probably was acting up, huh?
she's on the $5 bill, so there's not much you could do about it. It's her on one side, children playing hockey on the other. So
and then
not
a
much you
picture
can
of
do.
her moose knuckle on the other side.
So Christian here, he is has no self-esteem from being raised by these parents. When he was young, he would walk around with his head hanging down all the time because he was just kind of beaten down by the whole situation. His mother would force him to walk around with a broom behind his back.
Oh, Christ.
Like put a broomstick long ways around your back and put your arms behind it so it's like pressed against. So like if you really, like if you're strong, you could break it with your arms and your back. Like that. She would make him walk around like that to keep his head up.
Posture.
Because he couldn't, so that was her way of posture training. They would berate him constantly, as you did in the 50s.
Of course.
They told him he'd never amount to anything.
Is that the male version of the teacup on your head?
I think so, yeah. Or the book on your head or something like that.
Right.
But it seems more abusive, honestly.
Yeah.
It just seems like uncomfortable.
It's a prop,
also.
for fuck's sake.
So his parents are berating him constantly while he's walking around with a broomstick and keeping his head down and all that. And they told him, obviously, you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah.
You're obviously a piece of garbage. Right. The typical upbringing of people who turn out to do bad things, generally.
Typical spirit-breaking exercises.
And not everyone turns out like to do bad things.
No.
Some people go the opposite way. But a lot of times people, they don't know anything else, so they don't have any emotion, and they get that flat affect type of thing, and no sympathy and no empathy, and then you end up with a sociopath and a horrible person.
You're welcome, society.
You're welcome, society. And they trained him so well that by the age of 12, it only took to 12 to get him to be a rapist.
What?
That's nice. That's how bad. That's how they raised him. By the time he was 12 years old, he committed his first rape.
Wow.
Raping a 10-year-old girl.
Perfect.
What
a dick.
By 12, he had that lack of empathy, that cold-bloodedness, and that aggression.
What's the punishment for
Not
that?
only sexual, I don't think anything.
Wow.
Honestly, if you're a kid, and especially back then, kids didn't become criminals until the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, and back then, if a 12-year-old did something crazy, they were like, oh my, well, get him a soda and sit him down and see what happened. See what's going through his mind. You know what I mean? Get him a hockey stick. He needs something to focus his energy
Give him
on.
a teaspoon of maple syrup, eh?
Yeah, and some skates, Needs to maybe play left wing, join the team. So he could be a defenseman.
He's vicious, huh?
He could be a defenseman. He's tough.
He's going to spend some time in the penalty box, but that's a tough boy.
He doesn't have good posture, but I think it'll be okay. So this point, we're not laughing about the rape of a 10-year-old here, but this is
we're laughing about how easy it is to get into hockey.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're laughing about when you're 12,
right?
So, I mean, he's such at 12. I mean, that's heartless.
Fucking nuts.
That's heartless. And I don't even know if you're 12 and you're already committing heartless rapes of a smaller child like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're fixable at that point.
I'm just trying to think.
I don't know if you've gone too far over the line already.
When I was 12, I was still chasing girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on the playground, like playful.
That was 6th grade.
If I'd have been able, I was slow in 6th grade. If I'd have been able to catch them, I wouldn't have been able to rape them.
You were you were right, and you probably wouldn't have wanted to either, or known that was even an option.
Right.
That's the thing.
I wouldn't known where to put
at
anything.
At 12, you're writing notes saying, "Do you like me? Check yes or check no." Like that's what you're doing in 6th grade.
And this guy's at hold down and insert penis. That's fucking bananas.
It's insane, man. By the time he's in his mid-teens, about 15, his father yanks him out of school.
Yeah.
So no more education for you.
You
don't need school anymore.
I thought you were about to
not
describe
for
an
the
event.
day.
This is just, it's over.
Came to the day, took him out. They went to a baseball game. It was really nice. They had a hot dog. They stopped afterwards, looked at the sunset, and they went home, and he never committed another crime
Told
again.
Him, no more raping,
Thank
boy.
you for listening to Small Town Murder, everybody. One murder, and he's all cleared up. It's fine. So he's sent to work at 15 to support the family rather than go to school. This was against his will. He didn't want to leave school and go to get a job. He wasn't like that. They just forced him to. By the time he's in his late teens, he is illiterate and has a drinking problem.
Perfect.
Which is great. That's what you want, a sexually aggressive, illiterate drunk. That's
at 15,
perfect.
He didn't fucking learn to read and write.
No, this was later on. He still had, I mean, if you add that up, heartless, illiterate, and has a drinking problem, he would have been a great hockey prospect. They really should have signed him up.
He's frustrated as fuck. That's
Sorry,
an angry
hockey players,
man.
but no, he is. He started, his upbringing was not great.
No.
Not an excuse for what he ends up doing.
I mean, if he's responsible for these two things.
But still, you can see the building of a monster here.
For sure.
You can see the construction of a monster. They put the posts in, and they really
sprinkled it with Miracle Grow.
Yeah, and then finally they raised that barn up, and then he's raping 10-year-olds.
The lattice is up.
Yeah. So he has lately he's been working on a farm to try to support his kids.
Oh, Christ.
And he's not liking it at all. He's having a rough time. He hates that.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we get with a lot of killers is they have these menial jobs that they don't like, and they think they're smarter than that, but he's also illiterate, and it's like there's a lot of frustration here and a lot of anger and a lot of people always telling him he never amount to anything, and a lot of this, and they get this aggression. And what ends up happening, how this manifests itself, is once the door is closed, because we took a sidetrack there, Louise Jenner's apartment we're at right now. Once Louise Jenner's door is closed, Christian forces her to the floor immediately. And this is someone he knows well and knows well enough to just stop by. And she goes, "Hey, come on in." Yeah. That's a lot.
Well, so, know that this isn't going to be happy.
This is not good. He forces her to the floor, which we've heard before, tears off her pants this time. Now, the first time, he killed and then said, "Oh, now what do I do?" Didn't do it. Second time, he's like, "I'm going to do this before I kill her," and then just left her there. And this time, he's like, "I'm tearing the whole pants off first because I'm not going to deal with a broken zipper or any of this shit." He rapes her.
Oh, boy.
And as he's doing this, as he's attacking her, after a few minutes, he just stops for some reason. No idea why. Just stops in the middle of the whole thing.
Stops everything.
Stops the rape in the middle of it and just stops. There's no reason. He didn't finish. He didn't didn't lose his whatever.
That's enough.
He just stopped out of nowhere. Now what she does is she's fucking horrified and terrified. 5 minutes ago she's like, "Hey, it's my buddy Christian. Come on, we'll put a fucking album on." And now we're going to put some Foghat on, and now this is happening. She starts struggling to collect her clothes and put them back on.
Sure.
Obviously, because she feels horrible, and I can't imagine what she feels like. So she's trying to get her clothes back on at that point, and she feels like, I don't know, she feels like maybe he stopped because he realized what he was doing was not okay.
Right.
So he's going to let her do this. He's going to let her get her clothes back on, but instead he takes a black lace from her boot, a boot lace, and wraps it around her neck and strangles her.
Fuck is a boot lace?
A lace on a boot.
Oh, a boot string. Got it. Okay, so he's wearing, all right, like work boot, shoelace. Got it. Okay.
He takes one of those and strangles her till she's unconscious.
I saw like a piece of lace.
Okay, I got you.
Because I'm a dirtbag.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what the fuck is a boot lace?
No. This is he's got the black boot lace.
Yep.
He puts it around her neck, loops it around her neck a couple of times, and chokes her till she's unconscious with that. Okay, she's not dead yet, though.
Yeah,
she's unconscious. But then he takes a knife and he slashes her throat.
Jesus.
Too. So because she knows him.
Yeah, you got to make sure that's done.
Yeah. Just, if you're going to be a serial rapist or murderer, you should probably
not rape and
find
murder
strangers,
people,
maybe, or rape people and then try to walk away like nothing happened.
Right.
If you're not to give you a tip, small town murder tip out there for all you aspiring rapists and murderers. No, we're not doing that. He leaves her. He flees the scene, takes off, leaves her bleeding excessively, as you can imagine, on the floor. This was in the middle of the day, too.
Jesus.
Middle of the day, broad daylight, knocks on a door, decides, that was my friend over there. I'm going to go rape her quick, and then maybe I'll kill her. We'll see what happens.
If I have to.
You know how it goes out there. So her husband, Dennis, comes home at 5 o'clock and finds her in the kitchen in a pool of her own blood.
Yeah.
He just comes home from work like normal, and this is what he finds.
Fuck.
His immediate thought is, I have a daughter in this house right now. They have a daughter, Rachel. Luckily, the daughter is she's an infant and she was unharmed in her crib upstairs. He didn't do anything to the baby.
Oh, Jesus.
don't even know if he knew the baby was there.
Probably not.
Not even sure.
So
and
much
if he
anxiety
did,
right now. That was crazy.
I know. That's what I mean. When I'm reading this whole thing, I'm like, oh my God, there's a baby. Oh my God, there's a baby. That's all I kept thinking. And not that Louise didn't matter, but I'm thinking of a baby. I don't want to. I don't like hearing that babies getting.
No,
things are bad here.
Right.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Blue Apron.
BlueApron.com.
You should know by now that Blue Apron is the leading meal kit delivery service in the entire United States. And you may know what they do, but you might not know how they do it. It's amazing. There's a box that comes to your door every week.
Packed full of stuff.
Of amazing stuff. And depending on what you order, you have a lot of control over what stuff is in that box. They have so many different meal plans, different types of food. They have a 2-person meal plan, a family meal plan, a wine plan.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Now, for the next few weeks, ending at the end of February, Blue Apron is teaming up with Whole30 to bring you delicious recipes. Their menu will feature 2 Whole30 approved recipes each week, like seared steaks and warm lemon salsa verde with roasted broccoli and sweet potato. That sounds so good. And chicken and kale orange salad with spicy tahini dressing. So kickstart your new year with Blue Apron and Whole30. Both of us love cooking with Blue Apron.
Yes.
It's a good time. It's all of the spices. Everything is pre-calculated. You have exactly what you need. You can get everything out. You can get your whole family. You teach your kids how to cook. You can do the whole thing.
So much fun.
The recipes are simple. They take less than 45 minutes to prepare. You can really have a good time with your entire family and then eat some fantastic food afterwards. And right now, Blue Apron is treating Small Town Murder listeners, that is you guys right there, to $30 off your first order when you visit blueapron.com/small. So check out this week's menu and get your $30 off with free shipping from blueapron.com/small. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
BlueApron.com/small. Now back to the show.
So now this time, the first 2 attacks, police had no idea what happened.
Okay.
They had no idea. They just knew the one girl said it was dark and the guy had long hair.
Right.
And I think he was familiar, but I don't know. Okay, and this time they have leads in this one. The police have leads.
How do they have leads?
They have leads. An elderly neighbor.
Oh, thank Christ for nosy people.
Nosy old lady looking out what is she doing over here this time?
Oh, this whore.
I was going to say, you know it. You know she was like, she's having she's having a man over and her husband doesn't get home till 5. You know she
shaking her ass for the men folk.
It's funny when we get gossipy, we give her a southern accent like she just got out of a church service and she's going to go talk. Now, can you believe I saw him going right up into her house?
That
now,
Louise Jenner,
I know her husband wasn't home. I know her husband wasn't home. She's got a newborn baby, and she's out there just have a strange man over in the living room. So luckily, this nosy bitch over here reported seeing a young white male with shoulder-length hair pull into the driveway, and she said the car looked like a yellow or cream-colored late-model Oldsmobile. Okay. So now they have a physical description and a car description, which is, in a small town, that's better than nothing.
That's great.
That's better than nothing here. She said that she watched him stand outside the doorway for several minutes before entering. Okay. So he stood out there before he knocked.
Okay.
He stood out there getting up his medal, I don't know, getting himself up
really
for this.
Do this?
Can I do this? Is this a good idea?
Right.
Maybe looking around, making sure nobody popped out.
Yep.
I'm not sure what goes through a potential
person's
rapist,
mind.
murderer's mind. I can't imagine what you're thinking. But I'm trying to think of it like if you were like 10 and you were going to steal a Twix from the corner store and you're scoping it out and you're going to stand in front of the Twix for a while and act like you're looking at the whatchamacallits and be like, am I really going to do this?
James has stolen so many Twix.
Actually not. I actually am so scared ever been so scared to steal shit. That's like one thing I would never do is steal shit.
I was a terrible thief. I did it all the time.
I had friends that used to do that all the time.
I loved it.
And that's what they did. They would stare. I remember from the video game of Best Buy. See, I'm not a thief. I can't do that shit. I'm just I guess I don't have that.
Right.
See, I thought it was Best Buy.
No, it was Sears.
That's just sad. You put them out of business, Jimmy. You did this to them. You did
I
this
got
to them.
86 from Sears, and they told me that my face had facial recognition. They didn't have facial recognition software
and now,
15 years ago.
Joke's on them. Now everyone's 86 from Sears. So,
no. Sears is 86 from everywhere.
From the world. From the world, Jimmy.
So what happens when you start a business by selling the fucking lost and found, you creeps.
That's awesome.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's right. We had the origin story there.
I'll never forget that as long as I live.
That Roebuck's a scumbag.
That guy's a fucking asshole.
Total scumbag. So him standing outside for a few minutes, that didn't give clues. I mean, that just gave this woman a chance to see him a little better and kind of see what was going on and make it suspicious.
Yeah.
If you just walk up and knock on the door real quick, it doesn't look suspicious. It looks like you have business there.
Right.
That's your friend. You're dropping something off. She told you to come over.
Right.
It doesn't look like, oh, I'm creeping outside this house here.
Avon or Tupperware party.
Yeah. So what that did also is they didn't know whether he knew her or not at that point, because he could have stood outside, thought about it, and then talked his way in. They thought possibly. But inside, what they found in the crime scene inside the apartment was photographs were strewn across a table.
What?
Like in a way that you're showing them to people, not a way that you're like going through something or trashing the place. And if you're like laying pictures out, back when people had physical pictures of shit. So and back then that was a big deal, was to show someone your pictures, because like now we didn't have Facebook. So Facebook was when someone came over your house, you'd go, "Hey, I went away. Look at these pictures from my vacation." You'd show them to them because
all the Polaroids.
Otherwise, nobody would ever see your pictures because they didn't keep track of you every second of every goddamn day like they do now. So they saw that and they said, interesting. The police took from that she must have known the person she was talking to because she was showing him photographs. Obviously, this looked like a layout situation. So that's a big deal, knowing that she knew the killer. Right. That's a huge deal. So they look at who this could possibly be. It's a small town, not a lot. They settle pretty quickly on Christian McGee.
Okay.
They figure out that he had access to a cream-colored Oldsmobile, and he also knew all of these victims, but especially they were looking at Barksley because that's a murder victim. They weren't looking at the attempted rape.
Got it.
They were looking at Barksley and they were looking at Jenner here.
Sure.
The two murder victims. So they're very, very curious, as you might imagine, to talk to young Mr. McGee and find out possibly maybe what's up with him. So they bring him in for questioning.
Right.
Obviously. He says, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Likely.
No clue. I don't know what you mean.
Go to.
Yeah, I mean, I can get a cream-colored car there, but I don't know. Yeah, I know her. It's a shame she's dead. That's terrible. Yeah, oh boy, I don't know anything about that. I was just playing hockey out there, and you know the whole deal. So they say, well, nothing we can hold him on.
Yeah.
He says he didn't do it. We don't have any physical evidence. Couldn't crack him to make a confession, so they release him.
Oh boy.
What else are they going to do?
This is the 70s. There's no DNA.
No, and this is what I mean. There's nothing they can do about it. They're like, well, I don't know, unless he took a picture of himself on a Polaroid and of him killing her and left it at the scene. We really don't have any evidence of anything. Back then, that's what it was, unless he left a fingerprint. And even then, even a fingerprint, he would have been like, yeah, I know her. I've been there before. No big deal.
Too much.
So, yeah, they had nothing to go on, so they had to let him go. And how many times have we done this before where they talk to a serial killer and let him go?
Yeah.
Everybody. They talked to Gary Ridgway like 9 times before they fucking
They talked to Dahmer and then sent him back in his house with a victim.
They talked to Dahmer and said, naked Asian boy running, and he said, no, that's my boyfriend. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I said, all right, good. That's what I mean. It was like, it's crazy back then.
Those guys were fired. How awesome is that?
I would hope they would be fired here. So now the cops, they are looking at him, though. They don't think he's innocent. They just don't have anything to hold him on, and they couldn't crack him. So they're
You have to assume that Zodiac's officers and investigators talked to him at one point too.
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
Right.
I'm sure they have.
Sure.
I mean, it's you're positive of it, and they know that one where they missed him by 2 seconds. He was walking in San Francisco. That whole thing.
So much.
Sorry, we'll let other podcasts cover the more famous cases.
They have. And they'll continue.
That's why we all know these facts, because you've heard it 1,700 fucking times. So, November 3rd, 1975.
Right.
This is 2 weeks after the Jenner killing, and this is right after he's talked to the police. So talk about emboldened.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't even say, I'm going to take 6 months off. No. This is he can't. At this point now, it's gotten the time periods too. They went from 15 months to closer to now we're into weeks. It's just the time. He's progressing so quickly. He really is. So November 3rd. 1975, a 19-year-old girl named Sylvia Holly Jennings was hitchhiking outside of London, Ontario.
Yes.
Back then, God, can you imagine a 19-year-old girl hitchhiking?
It just happened. So that's why Kemper got so many girls.
That's what I mean.
It was then that
people hitchhiked.
That's why they stopped, because of that fucking guy.
Because of lots of people like this. Right. This was like the thing.
This is a common thing to do.
Well, if you're driving, that's like if you're a serial killer or you're a murderer and
they're
you're driving,
jumping out
it's
to you.
like, oh,
Kill
there's
me,
one.
kill me.
Hey, there you go. Yeah,
right.
it's insanity. How do you? I mean, it's
bananas.
Fuck. I mean, you should be able to just stand on the side of the road and not be murdered
and ask for a ride.
But in reality, human beings don't work like that. Yeah. They don't. So, yeah, not at all. So he takes her, says he's going to take her where she wants to go, but instead he drives her to an isolated side road in Mount Bridges and tells her to remove her clothes right away because we know what he's after. She paused and didn't want to because she was scared like a normal person. He goes into he turns into a maniac and starts tearing her clothes off of her.
Jesus.
He's gotten even more aggressive. Yeah. This progression's really, getting fast here. Yeah. She starts to kick and scream and fight. Good for you, like she should. She's trying to subdue her, or he's trying to subdue her. She's fighting back. He then hits her in the head to subdue her, and he rapes her horribly. Yeah. I mean, a horrible, horrible rape. Chokes her unconscious. Also while he's raping her. Yeah. So now he's hit her, knocked her kind of half unconscious to get her to stop fighting. Raped her. Chokes her till she's unconscious. Yeah. This time, though, he knows she's not dead because what he also does while she's unconscious, he goes and gets a bottle and smashes a bottle over her head also. Doesn't cut her or do anything like that. Smashes a bottle over her head, fracturing her skull, by the way. That's how hard he hit her with this fucking bottle.
Holy Christ.
So he has no regard for any human anything at this point whatsoever.
By the way, a rape...
You can't get any more horrible and aggressive than that.
It's so violent.
That's the worst thing.
It's so terrible. It's not like you picture... A man pictures rape like she doesn't want it, but you have sex with her anyway.
I don't think that's what men picture.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
No, I know a lot of dudes that don't know like what.
When I was like 10, so
that's a problem.
I know, yeah.
Your parents.
I was like, oh God, this is horrible. If she says no, just go okay and then leave. Like, don't be a fucking weirdo because this is scary.
Your parents brought you up right and showed you how terrible shit really
oh my God, no, don't do that.
But I know dudes that are just like, so she didn't want it. You gave it to her. No, Lord. Dude, no.
Who are these people?
A rape.
Please write their names down for later on. When it comes up.
It's horrible.
When there's women with fractured skulls
shit
being found on the
side
of the road.
Forced.
That's horrible. Don't force anybody to do anything, especially sexually.
Yeah.
Not small town murder approved behavior. We'll just say that. We do not condone
rapes
any kind
are
of rape
horrific
at all. So he's fractured her skull.
Yeah.
She did not die.
Yeah.
She wakes up later on the roadside with a fractured skull and completely covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now she's seen him too.
Yeah.
He made a mistake there with that. So now June 15th, 1976, this is about 7 months later, there's a guy named Jeffrey Scholes. He's got a 15-year-old sister named Susan Lynn Scholes. Now, Susan needed a ride back home. She's somewhere in town, and Jeffrey was at work. He's a little older than her.
Yeah.
He's at work, so he said that wait for her till he got done at work, and he would pick her up and drive her back to the parents' house in Strathroy.
Yeah.
But she instead said, no, I'm going to walk. Didn't tell the brother that, but decided to plug on ahead and walk/hitchhike. I'll walk, and if I get a ride, I get a ride.
Jesus.
She accepts a ride from McGee. A mistake, obviously, as we know. He offers a ride to her. She's 15 years old, which is, God, I have a 16-year-old daughter, so when you say 15, imagine. I'm just, I get horrified here. Luckily, well, I don't know. So she's hitchhiking. He rapes her, obviously, as we know he's going to do.
Bottle, right.
Strangles her again. Stabs her in the throat and chest this time.
Oh, my God.
He decided from last time, you got to make sure you do it.
She's
apparently.
15.
15 years old. Wasn't bad enough. She doesn't know him. She doesn't know him. It's bad enough that he had to obviously rape and choke her and do all this shit. But then he stabs her in the chest and the throat and the back.
There's so much crime already.
While he's doing that, he strangled her with her own shirt, with her halter top. Strangled her with that. And then the worst part of all, he took the knife and just absolutely went nuts on her girl parts. On her girl parts there. Absolutely went.
Raped her with a knife.
Worse than that. I wouldn't call it raped her with a knife. Just cut her, destroyed her. It's horrible, man. We'll talk about
my God.
a little more of the detail, but it couldn't. Disturbing as can fucking be. A farmer ends up finding her body. A farmer was thought there was a dead animal out on his property. So he went and he found her. All she had on were bikini underwear at the time. The next afternoon, the police said she had a 20-centimeter cut above her vagina. 20 centimeters. So that's
a
long.
Rip.
That's a rip, and that's it's violent, and that's angry, and that's That's definite progression.
Yeah.
That's progression.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's not only killing, but he's killing and he's maiming and mutilating also after he has what he wants. So police try to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
They figure out that 1:00 the previous day, her brother dropped her off in the town of Forest to buy batteries for her portable radio.
Yeah.
To buy batteries for her portable, it's such a kid thing. You know what I mean? She wanted to listen to some music or whatever, and that's so fucking sad.
It's an 80s equivalent of dropping her off to pick up Teen Bop. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's fucked up.
She's last seen at 1:30 p.m. walking toward County Road 12 by a witness here, a forklift driver. So this forklift driver reports, and this is the guy who really cracks this whole thing.
Yeah.
This forklift driver reports seeing her climb into a 1975 Ford truck used locally for picking up dead animals.
Okay.
So distinctive.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a gray, Dodge Ram.
He got the fucking year. This guy likes cars.
Not only that, it's the truck that picks up dead animals in town.
It's
People
a very
know that truck.
specific vehicle.
That's the animal truck.
Right.
There it is. See the flies following it? That's the one. So the police contact John Grinsven, who owns the company, who owns it's a Strathroy company.
Sure.
That owns the company that owns the work truck that picks up dead animals. And he said on the day in question, that truck had been driven by Christian McGee.
You bet.
You know it. Now, he says, they questioned Christian about it, and he says, oh, no, I remember that girl. Absolutely. Yeah, I picked her up. I picked her up along the road, and I dropped her off where she was going.
This is so weird, Christian.
I said, it's just a strange
There's a
thing.
dead body.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, your
Dead
car
girls
spotted in the drive.
Super weird, right?
Now all of a sudden we got a dead girl and your truck picked her up.
Super strange. So they said, well, let's just check and make sure that's, so we don't find any, evidence in here.
Right.
What they do find is the company, there's equipment in the truck. The filleting knife is missing.
Okay.
Only thing in the whole truck that's missing is the filleting knife. What a coincidence.
I just saw the most horrific part.
Yeah.
That knife has been used to chop up fucking animals that have been hit by cars or whatever. And he's using unbelievable.
He's using that to kill
just
a young girl.
Ruin a child.
That's
fucked up.
Fucking horrible. So they figure that's enough evidence.
Yeah.
Now he's been seen with two. One is a definite, and the thing's missing. So they go ahead, and on June 16th, 1976, they arrest Christian. It's the next day after that. The media immediately begins calling him the Mad Slasher.
Jesus.
That is his nickname. Mad Slasher, and that's still what he's called to this day.
That
the Mad
is a
Slasher.
vicious name.
Oh, absolutely. People are shocked, by the way.
Well,
they didn't expect this out of him. There's a farm owner, the guy who employed McGee, and remember this name, Mel Veal is his name. It's hard to forget a guy named Veal.
Yeah.
Mel Veal said, quote, he was quiet, easygoing, always kept to himself. He was a hard worker. Everyone was shocked when he got arrested.
And I got a young cow I'd like you to take a look at. What the fuck is...
I want to sell you a bull. So
what does he do?
Mel Veal he owns the farm.
Okay, so
he's the farm owner. The guy that owns the farm.
What does he raise?
Well, we'll see. Let's find out.
Okay.
He's not only the farm owner, he's going to have another job later on that's going to give us a good laugh. Don't worry.
Fantastic.
So, in 1977, he is forced to stand trial for the slaying of Susan Scholes, the young lady who came to buy batteries in town, whose brother was going to drop her off. He gives a sob story in court.
Yeah.
He talks about the physical and emotional abuse from childhood and his, loveless childhood. He had no self-esteem. And told him about the broom thing.
Yeah.
The whole sob story, basically. He said his older brother beat him mercilessly, and his parents told him he would amount to nothing, which just sounds like growing up with brothers at that point here. So what they do is they find him not guilty by reason of insanity.
What?
These fucking assholes. What? Not guilty by reason of insanity.
What part makes him insane?
That he was kind of sad from childhood. A little sad. He was sad, Jimmy.
I could have done so many horrible things in Canada.
You know what? He had to. You know what happened, Jimmy? Here's the deal. They made him do chores and he missed Super Friends in the morning and he fucking lost his mind. This is what I'm. What?
Oh, Jesus.
He wasn't repeatedly raped and he didn't know. Then I could honestly say psychologically he might not, he can't control that because people have that problem. If they are assaulted, they assault. Sometimes that happens, but
he had a sirloin on his face.
That's kind of sad.
That doesn't make you insane.
A little sad. That's all. I had friends' older brothers that would beat me up. Not even my own. I didn't have an older brother. Get into other friends' brothers would beat you up.
Endured.
It was like, oh, you have a friend over? Good. Someone else I can beat up. That's what it was. And you get beat up by them too. And you go, I don't want to go over there. His brother will beat you up.
Christ. I could have got away with so much mayhem.
Ridiculous.
Just based on my childhood story.
Yeah. Most people could have, apparently. So
my Christ.
He's committed to Oak Ridge Maximum Security Mental Health Care Facility at that point.
Okay.
That is just for the one murder. Now, Canada's, the way their law goes, and this came in they replaced not guilty by reason of insanity with not criminally responsible, the NCR, by mental defect.
Yeah.
And their criminal code here says, quote, no person is criminally responsible for an act committed or an omission made while suffering from a mental disorder that rendered the person incapable of appreciating the nature and quality of the act or omission or not knowing or of knowing that it was wrong.
Okay.
I'm sorry. He knew that it's wrong.
Yeah.
He tried to hide it. He knew it was wrong.
When he's right, what exactly? When you're lying about what you did wasn't me, then you know it's wrong.
You know
for
it's
sure
wrong.
Know it's wrong.
And you knew that was wrong. And what happened to him did not. I'm sorry. That's not enough.
It's
not enough. And I wouldn't excuse it no matter what happened to you. But that's not enough to make me even go, I get it.
Right.
You know, it's horrible and they should put him away forever, but I understand what caused it. No, I'm sorry.
Apart from his father chopping up a 15-year-old in front of him and saying, this is how you treat people, then no.
That's what I mean.
Fuck no.
Son, let me show you something.
Right.
Yeah, watch.
Have a gander.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll show you how to field dress a 15-year-old.
Exactly.
Like, that's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
So 1980, he has to stand trial for 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of rape for his other killings here. Again, the trial goes on. He is found not guilty by reason of insanity. 2 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of rape, 1 count of indecent assault.
Who's his lawyer?
A very good one, apparently, here. He tells the doctors, too, when because they interview him and all that, he tells the doctors that, the psychiatrist, that at one time during all this was going on, he was confused by sex and love, and he believed that forcing sex on someone could get him the affection that he wanted. But now that he's thought about it, he's had a couple of years in the facility, he realizes that he was wrong. Jimmy, he realizes it's wrong to rape and mutilate women with knives.
Oh, I can't do that.
Wow. Oh,
that's
that's wrong? Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize that.
I'm glad I've had this time to reflect.
Yeah, my dad, he put a big emphasis on, like, turn the lights off and do things like that, but never told me that was shit. Okay.
Totally skipped, don't force your penis inside people.
See, I dropped out in the 10th grade. Maybe they would have taught us that in the 11th grade. Not to murder people. That
was in the syllabus for 11th grade.
Yeah, that's what it was. He didn't know that. So 1 more year.
Jesus.
1 more year. Now, while this was going on, he is not the only guy who was murdering at this time.
Really?
Absolutely not. There was other serial killers going on. This became known as, there was 3 active serial killers at the same time.
Really?
In this town, in this area, in the London, Ontario area.
Wow.
There was 3 active serial killers. There was Christian McGee, Gerald Thomas Archer, who you may have heard of. More people. That's a little more. He's the London chambermaid slayer.
Jesus.
He's known as. He killed hotel workers. That's other podcasts have done that, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I tried to pick the less known of all of these. Also, Russell Johnson, who's the bedroom strangler, who I've heard of also. Wow. All 3 of these people they're combined for 13 people that they know they killed, 13 confirmed kills of those people during that time period. Johnson, on the other hand, the bedroom strangler, he confessed to killing 7 women and attacking 10 others. Jesus. He'd follow them into their homes and break into their bedrooms where he would rape and strangle them. Sounds like McGee that would have been doing that soon.
Eventually.
He was also found not guilty by reason of insanity and put in the same goddamn hospital.
Wow.
Same fucking hospital.
At the same time?
Same hospital, same time. These guys are like hanging out together. Wow. Fucking, I don't even know what to say about this.
What a terrible Arkham.
They have all of these serial killers and they're all just crazy. Yeah. They must be to do that, which is the logical thing, but still, fuck. Especially when we find out that Canada's laws mean that if you're in a mental institution, that can't be a life sentence.
Yeah.
You have to let them out eventually.
Really?
If you're in a mental institution. There's no open-ended There's no closed, there's no without possibility of getting out.
Really?
Well, when he's better, you got to let him go.
You Canadians are so sweet.
It's the same thing here.
Really?
It's the same. If you commit someone by reason of mental insanity, when they're okay to rejoin society, you got to let them go. But that's why people get out.
On the chance that they're not ever.
Wait till we cover Rhode Island, and you're going to find this exact case, and we let somebody even worse than this out.
Okay.
So it happens everywhere.
Clues.
No, I'm not telling
everyone.
no more clues.
Okay.
But wait till Rhode Island. Let's just say that here. He's goes to Oak Ridge Mental Facility here. By the way, they released Archer from prison.
Really?
Yeah. He's the chambermaid slayer. They released him from prison in '85. He didn't even do like 10 years, and he died.
What did he do after that?
He died.
Okay.
So that's good. He died shortly after.
Thankfully.
We wanted him to fucking die. The guy's a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
Now, in 2004, Dr. Philip Clausen conducted a 5-hour assessment of McGee, a psychological assessment, and concluded that he had personality disorder, fantasies of torture, necrophilia, cannibalism, and dismemberment, and a mindset in keeping with the classic sexual sadism.
What the fuck?
Just a good guy, is what he said. Just a fine young man.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. If you have any daughters, bring them on by. He's a worthy suitor. Jesus Christ. Wear your glass slippers.
He's available for birthday parties. What the fuck is this?
Since in prison, though, model prisoner.
Oh, I'm sure.
Great guy. He's busied himself.
He's being watched.
Oh, busied himself making baby cradles and rocking horses for charities out of wood.
Just what I want.
He's woodworking. That's what you want.
Charities have his work.
Yeah. They have a vagina-stabbing rocking horse. Thank you. Great. That's wonderful. That nice strangle baby cradle. That's terrific. Wow. How many girls had to die so you could have that? Wonderful.
Holy shit.
He converts to Protestantism. He finds God, of course, because, that's how you get out of jail.
And sympathy.
Sympathy. He claims that God has been using him to help people and that he no longer has violent urges.
Except for that 15-year-old and that other girl.
Yeah, now. He says, since I've been in here, God has been using me to help people.
God God likes to find the people that have done the worst fucking thing on earth and uses them to really push his message.
What God does is, they say, close the door, open a window.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where they're like, I need a baby cradle.
Yeah.
I'll make a murderer because someone's got to make those baby cradles.
Somebody's got to.
You slash a bunch of young ladies and we'll make one cradle from that. And we'll raise some money for charity. What do you say?
Fucking hell.
Wow. So no more violent urges. God has saved him.
Yeah.
I'm good now, as we say in Crime and Sports. Everything's fine here. Yeah. May 2005, he has a review board hearing. A hearing from the review board to see if, they can let him out of jail
right now,
out of a mental institution. May 2005. A report from a clinical team of specialists described him as a sexual sadist, a man with an antisocial personality disorder, and they calculated it as a 76% chance of reoffending within 10 years if he was to be released.
76%.
I would up that to 146% or 385% or 1,012% or pick a fucking number because it doesn't matter. He's going to kill people.
Here's the part that I don't like. They see 76%, correct? 76% chance of reoffending.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to let him out, aren't they?
Well,
that means to me 24% success rate.
Yeah.
There's no chance that anything that you'd sell me that they say 24% chance this will work.
He's going to rape and kill 3 out of 4 teenagers that walk in front of him. That's what that means to me. I know that's not what it says, but that's all I say. 3 out of 4.
I'm on board with
He's
that.
He's got enough control to let 1 of 4 go.
There's nothing you could sell me that you tell me it works 24% of the time and I'm paying full price. Never.
Thank you. And the psychiatrists had the exact same thought. They said, quote, there is no proven and effective treatment or intervention that is likely to change the outcome in a man who commits serial, sexually sadistic homicide.
Right.
No fucking shit.
Right.
Dr. Lisa Ramshaw said in the report that it would be safest for society if McGee stayed in a, quote, highly structured environment because he has a, quote, dangerous combination of personality disorders. No fucking shit. Yeah. She also said, quote, he should never get out. There's nothing much more to say than that. Yes, exactly. Never.
Right.
Jeffrey Scholes, the man who must feel guilty as shit for dropping his sister off to get batteries, he said, quote, what gives him the right to even exist? 30 years have passed, and my sister has never been the same. McGee took away her God-given right to enjoy the magical act of enjoying a normal relationship with a loved one. Right. Justice will not be served until he's dead.
My man.
Fair enough, I say about that. The Ontario Review Board, though, grants his request to be transferred from a maximum security facility in Pentang to a medium security health facility in Toronto.
He wants to go to medium, and
they approved that.
Yeah.
Officials at the maximum security facility he was at opposed the order, saying he was still a quote sadistic serial murderer likely to reoffend if released.
Right.
Please don't do that. The order's given, but it's not executed right away.
Okay.
The transfer's put on hold while the facility, Oak Ridge, appealed to the Court of Appeals, arguing that he's a substantial danger to society that cannot be moved. And the case was heard, and he stayed put for a while.
Okay.
Now, January 16th, 2006, he's still trying to be moved. The Court of Appeals, they're doing this whole thing. He wants to be moved to the Toronto Center for Addiction and Mental Health.
Okay.
And that would have been the first step toward his eventual release, because you go maximum, medium, minimum, and then they let him out. Day passes, that sort of shit. At this point, he's a diabetic. He's overweight. He's 57 years old. He kind of looks like, there's a picture of him from like the 70s. He looks like a fat Kirk Hammett from Metallica.
Gross.
That's what he looks like a fat version of him.
No.
Like he's got this round face. He looks like, it's weird. In some pictures, he looks like he's got like curly hair. Someone's got like long, dirty blonde hair. It's super weird. Now, McGee had an interview with the Toronto Star. You want to hear from this asshole? Because he's got a shitload to say, because he's a total dickhead. Oh, you'll want to hate him more.
Okay.
He says, quote, there has to be a progression of better treatments and privileges. This place thinks all they have to do is house the person, but the court sent people here for treatment. We ain't criminals. That's supposed to be the difference between this place and the correctional facility. Someone should have cut his throat right there.
For sure.
How dare you fucking say you're not a criminal, motherfucker? I don't care what the court says.
Yeah.
You know what you did.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. How do you not just pummel his face? I swear to Christ, I want to punch this guy.
So when they say, what are you in for, what do you think he says?
Nothing.
I gave a Canal Street pap smear. Is that what he tells them?
I think he does.
What a piece of shit.
Nothing. I'm in here for help.
Right.
I'm in here because my dad was mean.
I'm sick.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that what he does?
That's what it was. He has even expressed willingness and wantingness to meet with the families of the victims face to face, if that'll give them closure. He said, quote, it wouldn't be a very comfortable meeting, but I owe them that much.
Yeah.
I can never take that hurt away as much as I'd love to. It'll always be there, but I feel as if I give them a chance to meet with me and let them vent their anger, how much I messed up their lives, it would be a step in the healing process. No.
I'm exhausted right now. This guy...
He's a fucking asshole.
Does he have like a business card that says like freelance gynecologist or something? Is that
he's
what he's
that
trying
kind
to
of
tell people?
Yeah, he's got like a T-shirt that's
What a cocksucker! I hate this guy so much.
And it's so weird because normally we cover these cases, and a lot of them, the small town murder cases, are relationship between two people got out of hand,
right.
And it's usually the cases we cover. Obviously, there's been Herb Coddington in Hawkins, Texas, and lots of exceptions, but usually, if this specific situation didn't happen to this person or they didn't put themselves in this specific situation, they would have probably never killed anybody.
Sure.
But this specific thing got to the point where they fucking snapped or they couldn't take it. They couldn't, whatever. This is not that at all.
No.
This is a completely different thing.
This is somebody enjoys inflicting pain on women. For sure.
Yeah.
On women.
On women.
Not even women,
it's
just females. The female gender, because it's children and adults.
Whoever.
He's a fucking nightmare.
Well, he's also a pussy because he's not going to go after guys. And that's what it is, too, because he's afraid.
I know, and I just like that. I just like that description of him because it's exactly what he is.
He is a pussy.
He's
going after a 15-year-old girl when you're 27 years old?
No, you're right.
Sorry,
he's
you're a pussy.
Coward.
End of story. Yeah, it's all you are. I don't see you attacking another 27-year-old dude because he'd kick your ass.
Right.
That's why.
It's because, and also his
and
wife.
You don't want to rape them.
His wife probably would kick his ass because that's where he's at. He's going with children because they can't fight back.
Yeah, it's true, man. His lawyer, this guy is, can you imagine being his lawyer? He says, quote, he wants to say he's sorry. It could benefit both sides. Just saying he's the devil and not trying to understand doesn't help you get on with your life.
Well, it helps me just fine.
Imagine if you're one of these people, the preparation you'd have to do to talk to this guy, and then how it would affect you afterwards. Right. You're going to let this guy do this to you again? run you through the ringer
It's
again
not
emotionally.
just that. As somebody that survived it, the girl has to come back. The victim has to come to him and ask
victim's family
and ask and the ones that survive. You're going to ask, why'd you do this to me? Why'd you do this to my family? And he's going to give you an excuse that you're going to buy. Fuck you.
Fuck that, Jeffrey.
There's no excuse.
No, Jeffrey Scholes, whose 15-year-old sister was killed there. He said, "quote Talk to McGee." That's a definite no to that. Fuck that guy,
my man.
Yes. Jeffrey's wife Donna said, "quote This is just so upsetting to everyone."
Yeah.
She also said that her mother-in-law. She's happy that her mother-in-law Ida, who is Jeffrey and was their mother.
Yeah.
She said Donna said she's happy that Ida has Alzheimer's, so she doesn't have to know what's going on because she'd be so upset about it.
She gets to forget about this.
Exactly.
How fucked of a statement is that? I'm thankful that she's got a horrible disease that's going to kill her.
Yeah.
But the benefit is she doesn't remember
what
deal
with this. She doesn't have to go through this again.
Good Christ.
Now, his lawyer, Daniel Brodsky, said that, hey, he would have been better off in a penitentiary. He'd have been released if he was, or at least in a minimum security if he'd have been been criminally convicted, which is probably true.
Not in America.
No,
in America they'd murder him.
He probably. He would have been in prison
dead so fast.
Yeah, good. Canada. You know what? Get your prison shit together. If you need, we have lots of violent people. We will import prisoners for your cell blocks just to stab child rapists.
Clear shit like this
We're fine with that. We'll export them, no problem. You can bring them back when you're done. We're fine. Leave them on the front porch. We got it. We'll take them in when the lights come on.
I've heard of foreign exchange students. Why can't we do foreign exchange prisoners?
Foreign exchange murderers. Let's do it.
Let them have a different scenery.
Yeah, no shit, man. So they're saying that anytime he's moved, if he eventually gets to minimum security, in minimum security, you will get day passes. So they're like, if you move him to medium, that's one step closer to minimum to where he's actually going to be outside,
on the street sometimes.
Which is fucking scary. It's commonly. We know that we can't cure these people, but in May of 1991, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that it was a violation of human rights to incarcerate a mentally ill person indefinitely. Indefinitely. So you have to have a time.
Is it though?
Yep. So basically, what they're saying is,
how long has Mark David Chapman been in a mental health facility? Because he's not in jail.
No,
he's in a mental health facility. Yeah. He's still fucking there. He's married and he bangs.
I thought he got out. Who's the one that got out?
Shit.
The other one. Yeah, the other one. There's two from that time he got out. Yeah, sorry. Moving on.
Mark David Chapman's still in there.
Yeah.
I believe. Do we have to Google this?
Let's not. Let's move.
Okay.
Google it out there, everybody.
Point is, one of those guys gets like conjugal visits, and
disgusting,
and he's still in there. Like there's no. It's open ended. You just hang out until we think we can trust you.
No shit. So by the way, nobody wants this guy out.
Yeah.
Nobody. Even apparently his son. There was a post on a blog thing about this whole deal.
Yeah.
Allegedly from his son. And here's what it says. We don't know if it's true or if it's from his son or not, but it says, quote, I can say in my heart I feel this man should stay right where he is at. I am scared day after day of this man. He has tried contacting me, and if he ever gets out, I feel that I am in danger, and so is my family. My prayers go out to those families he hurts. I wish there was something I could do. I will continue fighting anyone who is trying to get him out. I ask everyone and anyone to please support me in my fight, not just for the safety of me and my family, but for the safety of you and yours. That sounds real, honestly. Yeah. And if it's not real, it's pretty on point, and just as somebody who knows what they're talking about. Other things, too, on these threads, there are people saying, I need to know more because my sister was murdered in that area in that time, and it's unsolved. Okay. And I want to know if it was him or not. And it was killed in the same way. This one girl says that one woman said her 14-year-old, her sister was killed 14 days before one of his murders in the same area and in the same MO. And she said she's tried to get, the police to look into it, but they can't do anything. The problem is because he was found not guilty, they can't legally extract DNA from him. Even if they had, they can't force him to give DNA. Even if they had samples from 1974, which I'm sure they don't.
Right.
But if they did, they can't force him to give DNA also.
Okay, don't force it. Just wait till he's done with lunch and grab that milk
pluck a fucking
carton.
hair out.
Right.
Dink, there we go, done.
I mean, there's so many different ways.
So many ways, but I guess then it's not. I don't care at this point. It's fucking bullshit. But there's still the point is there's people that never got closure because there's a lot of unsolved murders from that time period that they don't know who to attribute them to. They think a lot of them are his because anything that was found out somewhere, not in a bedroom or in a hotel.
Right.
May 13th, 2006, a provincial tribunal ruled he should be moved immediately to a West End Toronto healthcare center.
Okay.
So. It's unfucking real, man. The people from the medical community are freaking out about this whole thing. They're like, what are you talking about? One said, quote, "We find it rather offensive that the review board's order from last year has been snubbed," is what his lawyer's saying. They've snubbed because they made a ruling, and it's been a year, and they still haven't transferred him yet. He says, quote, "A year ago, an order was made, and nothing was done." It's so amazing, too, because all these people are looking on. Imagine you're a victim's family, and this guy's complaining that,
I don't want to.
I don't like my room better. I need a better room that's over here. He says about all this thing, he's all smiles. He said, he expects to be moved soon because of the ruling, and he says, quote, "I'm elated." Is what he said. He said, quote, "I'm no longer dangerous. I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm hoping sometime down the road I will be able to go out and visit with my family.
Right.
I'm no longer dangerous."
Right.
Can you believe it? I don't even want to hurt anybody. Yeah.
You gutted a 15-year-old.
No shit. His lawyer said, quote, "This was a flat-out victory for Chris. If Chris is not at the Toronto facility by next week, I will go to the Superior Court with a motion calling for contempt charges to be laid against Oak Ridge." Yeah, so he's been in Oak Ridge for 30 years. His lawyer said he's not looking to just them to fling open the gates and let him walk out. Right. That's not what he's doing. He said he's seeking a controlled exit, starting with weekend passes to visit with his family, show society how much he can be trusted, and then we can let him out to do whatever he wants here. He's a grandfather now. He says he's
a grandfather.
Oh, yeah, he had 2 kids, so they had kids. They have fucked up genetics. You think they're going to keep them to themselves?
This is so
spread it
up.
around. He said that he's, he plays solitaire on his computer there. He has a computer. Likes the show 24.
Yeah.
That's his favorite. Loves listening to gospel music. Is born-again Christian here. Called a model prisoner with a spotless record of 3 decades of custody. Don't care. You know why he's got a spotless record? Because there's no fucking 15-year-old girls there. That's why.
Right.
He's never had a problem with anybody else. Yeah, all dudes. And people who could kick his fucking ass once again. Holy shit here. And there's a reporter there also that says that she talks to him and shakes hands with him, and he's saying how he's got a very strong handshake, and he said it was kind of disturbing because
that's a hand that's been around
he strangled
necks.
people with that and stabbed people with those hands.
Jesus.
He says he used to be illiterate, but he's fine now. He talks all about his, quote, mental health condition.
Oh, boy.
He's all full of now he knows how to bullshit people.
Yeah.
He's all full of the lingo.
Yeah.
He says, quote, "I was out of reality when I killed her," talking about Judith Barksley. He said, quote, "The reality is I'll always have the problem, but now I can recognize the symptoms and take preventative measures, stop myself before it happens again." I don't want anyone who's thinking about this shit.
No, the reality is there are dead people, and you did it.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
He said Barksley, he didn't plan it. He just saw her. He saw her walking, and he made up his mind that he was going to rape her. He said, quote, "I talked myself into it. I was fantasizing more and more as I walked behind her, building up the courage, the desire, the want. She looked good from behind," he says. I want to fucking stab this guy myself now. He said that. Now, this is his version of saying, "I'm good now." He said she looked good from behind, so I needed to attack and rape her. Yeah.
What?
Don't you want to stab this guy?
How do you get to say that after...
Fuck me.
How do you get to say that?
The reporter should have punched him.
Absolutely.
Just right there, punched him right in the face and said, I'm sorry.
Throw him a sirloin and walk out.
Yep, he said
what the fuck?
He said he never saw her face. He just attacked her. He just wanted sex. He never even thought, this is what I mean, first attack. He never even thought of what to do after.
Yeah.
He didn't have a plan or anything like that. He didn't have anything. He said he was startled because when she turned around, he said that he thought he had to kill her because she could identify him to the police.
Yeah.
That's why he slashed her throat quick. He's like, oh, shit, I better do that. He said, quote, "I just couldn't walk away, even though I hadn't done anything yet. But in my mind, I had already committed the crime when he was walking behind her. He was already locked in."
I've got I want to fight him.
Don't you though? 57, fat and diabetic.
I want to
kick
him
his
so
fucking ass.
bad.
Yeah, we challenge you, Christian McGee, to a fight.
You and your likely purple and green blues ankles. I hate you.
He says, "quote If I were in Jesus Christ, man." By the way, he hates the name Mad Slasher. He says he hates it.
Well,
not him.
I hope
Tough
you
shit.
name this podcast episode.
It's going to be called the Mad Slasher. He's lucky it's not called the Mad Cunt Face at this point. He says, quote, "If I were in the same situation now, I would just walk away if I got those thoughts. Now I would be able to recognize the warning signs and stop myself before anything happened. Back then, I couldn't do that."
Those thoughts aren't normal.
You shouldn't have those thoughts. You shouldn't walk behind people and go, "I'm going to rape her real quick." That's not normal.
She looks good from behind. I'd sure like to rape her.
I've never had that thought. Never once.
Ever.
And I've never thought, should I have those thoughts? Just never crossed my fucking mind. He says his woodworking has given him confidence. He says he's raised more than $25,000 for charity by donating his woodwork at auctions. He sponsors a student in Ethiopia who's studying to become a nurse. He's just a good guy.
A day.
He said he admits that he still gets deviant sexual fantasies.
No!
He said, "I still get them."
Put him back in.
He said he could never be cured of that problem, but he does insist it couldn't be controlled. Again, he says, quote, "I was sent here because I have an illness. I didn't understand that then. I do now."
Oh, Canada.
He said, "I would have been out 25 years ago had I been found guilty at a criminal trial and given the mandatory life sentence. People convicted of first-degree murder are allowed to apply for parole after serving 25 years. We're a compassionate country. That's the way our system is set up. I can never repay my debt to society, but in Canada, you're supposed to be given a second chance."
Wow.
You're not.
No.
Other people are.
Yeah.
People like you are not. Sorry.
You get a second chance when you stop paying your car loan and they repossess it. You get a second
That's
chance.
to
You
give
can buy a
another
new
chance.
car.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to hear from the mayor as we find these small town mayors?
Oh, Christ.
You know who the mayor is?
No.
Mel Veal,
Oh,
farm
my
owner.
God. Are you
They
shitting
elected
me?
a fucking small town mayor. Come on, Jimmy. That's why I said remember Mel Veal. I know how to tell a goddamn story. It comes full circle
You guys
always.
voted for a man named Veal.
Mel Veal, who owned a farm. Like that farmer guy, Mel Veal. I think he can run shit.
He helped crack that Mad Slasher case.
Oh, man. That's some small town shit right there, man. Holy fuck,
You
man.
know what's fucking going... He's out, right? Is he out, or are they letting him? No. I'm talking about this fucking asshole. They let him out? Yeah.
No. They're still holding him here.
Okay,
They're
he's
still
trying
having
to get
transfer
out.
him to me. They're trying to transfer him. He's trying to get to a medium security facility.
I'm mad because he's talking about getting out and he's talking about woodwork. You know what woodworking? You get
knives,
heavy fucking sharp
Don't
tools.
give him knives.
No,
ever.
You're creating.
You know what? You also worked and carved
right.
Girls,
a little girl,
women,
yeah,
and teenagers.
So many of them.
Fuck, man.
Oh Jesus.
Mel Veal remembers him from the farm. He says, "quote He was so proud of his 2 kids, and then something happened to him. We all heard he's been a model prisoner, but I don't think he can handle being on the outside after so many years in custody. He should stay where he is."
Yeah.
Which, I get he's a farm mayor and all that type of shit. That's way better than, it's like, from last week. Better mayor.
That statement's what got him elected.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like, but it'll do, for now. May 17th, 2006, McGee loses his bid to be transferred to Toronto. A review board says, no, that should have never happened to begin with. He says he remains determined to get out. In the meantime, the lawyer's going to help him prepare for the appeal to get another bid to transfer because he's going to do that. Jesus Christ. How
about just count your blessings?
That's, yeah,
you know what I mean? Just be thankful you're not in a real, actual fuck-me-in-the-ass prison.
Yeah, absolutely. He should be. Good God, because it would be happening. The Jeffrey Scholes guy there, the brother, said, quote, "This is a small victory for victims and their families." He said, "I feel good about it." So that's good anyway. Yeah. At least he feels good about that, keeping him in there. Yeah. So he's stuck in there at that point. In this hearing, they found that the review board erred by concentrating on finding the least onerous and restrictive setting for McGee. Is what they said. They were trying to find that rather than just find one that's more safe for society. Yeah. A rehearing will be ordered. But Jeffrey, the brother here, Jeffrey Scholes, said, quote, "I'll be there. I'll be there every goddamn time."
That guy's a badass.
Yeah. The Justice E.A. Cronk, who sounds grumpy, wrote a 27-page ruling.
I was just going to say he sounds like an author, and he showed it.
They said in this one article, they said, quote, he, quote, "minced few words as it condemned the review board's decision last May." He said, quote, "The board's disposition was not made after meaningful consideration of the requisite statutory factors, namely the need to protect the public from Mr. McGee, Mr. McGee's mental condition, his other needs, and his reintegration into society. Okay. The evidence was that Mr. McGee persists in seeking a transfer to a medium secure facility because he believes that it will facilitate his desired access to women.
Right.
Mr. McGee's motivation in seeking a transfer should have sounded an alarm bell for the review board.
There you go.
Thank you. There's going to be fucking women there.
Right.
Gee, I don't know. Nobody to rape in here.
Right.
Because like we said, the medium security facility is much more stress on reintegration. When are we going to get this guy back in here?
John Hinckley Jr. That's what
the one.
Yes.
There you go.
I don't know why that name just jumped into
Popped
my
in
head.
your head
Right.
finally here. People are very happy. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are elated about this here. March 2nd, 2014, a book is written by Mike Arntfeld. It's London is the Serial Killer Capital of the World. It's a really interesting book, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really pretty cool book. He talks about between 1960 and 1985, the London area had 32 homicide victims that are all women and children.
That's a balls fucking claim. You know what I mean? London is the serial killer capital of the world?
And during that time period. Which I'd still say California probably had a beat at that point, I'm going to say.
California and New York are fucking really beating on you.
California really in the 70s was packed with serial killers. They were crawling all over that place.
Ridiculous.
But for they're saying actually for the population, there's only 400,000 people
per
in
capita,
London, Ontario.
I got you.
And they had like 4 serial killers operating. And what's one person in 100,000 is a serial killer? That's a high fucking rate, man. That's pretty bad.
In California,
Jesus.
that'd be like fucking 3,000.
Yeah, well, no, there was at least so many more million people.
Right.
Per capita.
Right.
They're pretty damn good at the serial killers here. Not too shabby. Canada, that's what you're good at. Per capita, you guys are good stuff.
It's just a balls claim. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. This guy who wrote this book got notes from a detective sergeant at the time, a Dennis Alsop, based on everything. It's pretty damn cool. In an article about the book, they said, quote, "It's unclear when it all came together, but Alsop established his compendium of his original diary entries from the 60s and 70s, old documents from a bygone era, photostats, teletype transcripts, and documents created from now extinct technologies that we thought were lost to history." He gave them over to this author.
Yeah.
I would love to have access to this shit. This is the shit I don't have.
That was
Canada.
an unbelievable statement. That was beautiful.
That was great, yeah.
But most people say just like, they don't say now extinct. They say obsolete or some shit like that.
That shit's gone.
Yeah. Shit don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
What did he say? Extinct. It's beautiful.
And the messed up part is these diaries really show a frustrated cop that knew what was going on. It said, quote, "Through Alsop's diaries, he knew who did it, and he was basically stonewalled for making arrests because they felt he didn't have enough. They didn't have enough. They wanted a slam dunk. Yeah. So he kept tabs on these people in his own time until they moved from London, and it seems at least one in the case. It's at least one in the case that there are 2 other victims in Toronto connected to the same killer.
Wow.
So they wouldn't listen to him, and he's like a cop in some movie.
Just pissed.
Who's just like, I don't care. He's got that one picture of that girl who he never found the killer, and he keeps it up on his desk, and he's like, I'm going to find him. And he looks over his old notes.
I go to sleep at night thinking about her.
There's got to be something. Yeah. They said among the remaining 19 killings, there are links to all sorts of things. And at the time, there's 400,000 people now. At the time, London had like 200,000 people. So that's not a lot to have that many fucking serial killers going on in it. They had about 5 or 6 serial killers out of 200,000 people at that, and during one time, which is batshit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. The Arntfeld, the author, said, quote, "We have this massive cluster of victims that suggests they were all operating coincidentally.
My Christ.
Just happened to be out there.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't like run into each other trying to pick up the same girl and rape her. You know what I mean?
You know those like conspiracy theorists? Somebody's got to have a theory that the government did this, right? That somehow,
I'm sure there's some, yeah.
But what was it? It'd be like something was in our food or something that was making this go on.
That's the conspiracy, is that there was something in a water supply, something about testing, a weapons testing or something that made people lose their fucking mind. DDT, you name it, all that type of shit.
There was something in the drugs in the 70s or some shit.
Yeah, and they're saying why London, and they said basically because it's its distance from other cities, it's kind of its own thing out, and it's kind of an island. It's like Tucson, in a way, I guess. Except
that's too bad.
I'm sure much better than Tucson. Sorry, Canada, we don't want to compare compare you to Tucson.
Sorry for the insult.
Tucson, go fuck yourself. I don't care what you think, because there's not enough of you for me to even give a shit, and I've been there, and it's a dump.
And you're
if
all
you
busy,
live there, you know it's a dump.
You're all busy painting anyway.
You're all busy painting and roofing and trying to get the bugs out of your house because it's disgusting down there.
Building your own solar panel in your garage, you fucking weirdos.
No shit. Now, May of 2014, they open up a new facility where they're transferring people to. It's a new facility called Waypoint. It has 301 psychiatric beds, 141 reserved for women.
301.
301. 20 of the beds are reserved for medium security, and 160 of the beds are reserved for male forensic patients requiring maximum security, like our man Christian here, our asshole Christian here. Him and that other serial killer are also there. They're also coming. The old facility, Oak Ridge, was built in 1930, and it looked like a big, mental institution, basically, is what it was here.
Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
That sort of thing. Whereas this is not. This is, this is more of a hospital type place.
I hope he's got a Nurse Ratched. That's a dude, though. Just like a mean fucking dude.
So he's in there, along with the Russell Maurice Johnson, the bedroom strangler, is also in there. That's nice. This is the guy. He scaled up to 15 stories to enter apartments, this guy, by the way.
What?
That's what a piece of shit this bedroom strangler is. Yeah. He was arrested in 1978 for the 3 killings, found not guilty by reason of insanity, and he now says that he runs a computer business from inside his room.
What is it?
Runs a business? You're in a fucking mental institute. What are you running? God. Who's buying anything from this man?
Ever.
What is happening? What the fuck?
Canada, you're too nice and forgiving.
A computer business?
Yeah.
No. Is he selling computers, or is he doing business through the computer? What the fuck is going on?
Their national anthem is "Oh Canada," and it's definitely got to be something that's like an insult. Oh, Canada. Come on, Canada.
Canada.
Jesus, Canada.
Come on,
serious.
Canada, for the love of Christ.
For fuck's sake.
Now, 2017, patients and inmates, whatever you want to call them, of Oak Ridge that were there sue the country.
What?
They sue the Crown over treatments and conditions during the time, including McGee, who is one of the plaintiffs in the fucking lawsuit. The Crown does not deny any of the conditions or the treatments, but says that they were the standard of the times and that their actions were only in an attempt to help the patients.
Okay.
Oak Ridge opened in 1933, so, wasn't the most up-to-date.
What was it, just like the Oak Ridge Boys songs
They're
on
constant.
loop?
Elvira, just over and over again. It was awful, dude. It was if they were saying when they went in, then they lost their
They're
mind.
nuts now.
No, they actually had different. They had 3 programs: the DDT program, the MAP program, and the capsule program.
Okay.
And now these were. Under the DDT program, patients were administered combinations of hallucinogenic, delirium-producing, psychosis-producing, or mind-altering drugs, including combinations of alcohol, dexamethasone, dexedrine, dextroamphetamine, imipramine, LSD-25, largicical, methadone, nozanan, Ritalin, scorpolamine, and sodium amytal.
A party.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're giving them to see what happens. Just see what happens.
What the fuck?
The idea behind the program was that the drugs would disrupt the defense mechanisms of the criminally insane so they could confront their illness and the underlying personality disorder.
By spending time at Manson Ranch? What the fuck?
MAP is weirder.
Okay.
MAP is a form of re-education that involved regimen, study, discipline, and punishment. The patient lived under a set of rules and was required to study papers and write examinations on interpersonal communication. The patient was not permitted to leave the program unless he had completed 14 days without unauthorized talking or movement. A disruptive patient at Oak Ridge was forced to sit on a bare floor with his feet straight out in front of him in the attention position. His hands would either be cuffed or placed in front. He was confined to a space of approximately 3 square feet, in which he would only be allowed to move only 4 times during a 4-hour session. Standing's not permitted in this. It's
what?
Crazy.
You can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
That's bananas.
It's crazy banana shit is what it was here. Also, there's no casual talk. You can only talk in groups.
Going back to MAP, if have you sat in a position? I can't sit in that position.
No, that's horrible.
My fucking feet will fall asleep.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's the other thing too here.
These are guys older than us. You can't do that to people.
Yeah, in order to leave the MAP program, you'd have to be perfect for 14 consecutive days. A perfect day involves no slips of the tongue, no unauthorized moving, no keeping others waiting, no lack of participation, satisfactory demonstration of motivation, attitude, and participation.
No.
Perfect posture,
No.
deportment, and language.
Impossible.
Also, they would make them be naked and do meetings and things naked because that would free them, which would make me feel more uncomfortable.
Fucking Guantanamo Bay.
Thank you. I was getting there exactly to that.
That's exactly what it is.
It's exactly
terrible.
That. So they talked about before that, people were choked, given tranquilizers, injections, all that sort of thing. That lawsuit is going on. That is in 2017.
It's going on now.
It's going on. I dug that fucking lawsuit up. Christian was in the MAP program 3 times and was in DDT from time to time. So he's been through some shit in there. He's on the lawsuit. That's Christian McGee. Don't really care what the fuck they do to them at this point.
God.
Stick something up his ass.
Yeah.
Run him up the flagpole. Don't give a shit.
I hope so.
Fuck Christian McGee. That's Strathroy, Ontario, Canada.
Wow.
What a disaster of a story.
What a town.
What a town. What a mess.
Get your shit together, Canada.
Get your shit together. Keep these people away.
Oh, my God.
Wow. If you like that story, you're a sick bastard.
Yeah.
And we love you for it.
Yeah.
So thank you. And
Stick
get
around.
on iTunes and give us 5 stars, please. Really helps out on the business end, like we said. iTunes. That's a huge way. Patreon, even bigger.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/crimeinsports. Any penny counts, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt.
You can make a donation at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Yep.
And we have a huge list of people who have done just that this week and been amazing to us. Before we get to that, a couple other things. Live shows. Detroit with Dan Cummins. Not sure if there's any tickets left to that, so it might be a moot point at this point. Boston, February 18th. It's a Sunday, 1 p.m. Small Town Murder. 4 p.m. Crime and Sports, 7 o'clock Small Town Murder is sold out, so don't even try it. And March 25th, Phoenix, Arizona, Stand Up Live, of course.
Yeah.
Get your tickets there. All these tickets will be in the show description.
Yep.
The links will all be there.
And then brace yourself because there is a windfall more coming.
There's a ton. It probably next week, if not the week after, we're going to announce a shitload of dates in a shitload of cities. So chill out on the asking us to come there because we might be coming there. It might already be booked. So do that. If you want to get a hold of the show, you can do that at Murder Small on Twitter, Small Town Pod on Facebook. Do that and crimeinsports@gmail.com is the email. Jimmy, I know you have a list that could just knock a horse out if you hit it in the head with it. So please, why don't you hit us with that list right now?
This week, you guys, was fucking incredible. Christiane Castaldi and Sarah Gilbo continue to be fantastic. Thank you both for being just angels to us.
And we hope everything's going well over there.
No doubt. I don't know if you saw the email. We got an email from Mercury DePhillips. It's an email about a 60-year-old in an apron, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way.
And
then I got a snap today from her daughter asking if we got it, and I was like, yeah, I've seen that one. And then she said that she thought we ignored it. We did not ignore it.
We didn't ignore it.
And she looks terrific in it. There was a little bit of side boob, and the email said, "Brace yourself for a 60-year-old side boob." And by the way,
it's fine.
I've slept with much uglier girls in their 20s, so good for you, Mercury. Keep it up. You're doing fine. Benito,
I don't know what was the worst part of that statement. I don't know what's going to make everybody madder, but we'll find out.
We'll get
at
emails.
Whisman sucks. Guys, don't send it to the page.
Benito Martinez, Mariah Menhier over in Deutschland.
Oh, she's great.
And she's Dutch. I forget.
She's Dutch.
She told me where she's at.
Yeah, Deutschland's
and
Germany.
I forget every time.
She's Dutch. She's definitely Dutch.
I try Netherlands.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Netherlands is Dutch.
Is that where she's at?
If she's Dutch, then yeah.
Okay. It is the Netherlands.
Yes,
that's definitely right. Thank you, Mariah, for being fantastic. Adam Davies, Jessica Leitke, Roxy Goetz, Daniel Whitford, Julian Flores, Tiffany Robertson, where did I go? Alyssa Rosas.
Rojas? Rosas?
It's 2 S's.
Rosas?
Yeah.
Rosas?
Ethan Ford, Kelsey Munoz. I hope your little girl gets better. Thank you so much. Andrea Johnson. Barbara Lamka. Leslie Green. Lonnie or Loney. It's Lonnie, right?
Let's go with
That's
Lonnie.
Yeah. Lonnie Strach. David Stanich. David L. Hemsley. Xander Myers. Callum Siglinski. He donated both on Patreon and then over at PayPal. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the effort.
Xander Myers.
Cool.
Did I say? I said Xander Myers.
Yeah.
Scott Howells. He loved your an episode of Crime and Sports. So thanks, Scott.
Awesome.
Appreciate you. Extraordinary Stories podcast. Angela Chadwick. Go listen to that Extraordinary Stories podcast. Stephanie Chapman.
We don't know if it's good, but they gave us some money,
they
give them a shot.
Cash, so
give them a
thank
look.
you.
Hey,
right.
give them a chance.
Jennifer Thompson did both also. Donated on
Thank
Patreon
you.
and then over at PayPal. Thank you, Jennifer. Spencer Gaynor. Samantha Gibson. Dominique Waller. Drunk Bray Wyatt. That's fascinating.
Bray Wyatt.
I hope
That's
your
a
parents
wrestler,
didn't
right?
name you drunk. Oh, really?
Bray Wyatt's a wrestler?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've heard that name.
So Drunk Bray Wyatt.
I don't
is
watch
the person who
modern
donated.
wrestling, but
Right.
I've heard that name before.
That's true. Amy Starr. Thank you, Amy. Josh Cole and Britt Cole. Thank you both. Keith. Is it Keith? No, it's Kevin. Kevin Wagner, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Wagner in Jersey sent. So is it Kevin? It's got to be Kevin. Yeah, Kevin Wagner sent money through the guy that sends money through the fucking
That's
mail.
so cool. Thank you, man.
Snail mail shit.
It's so cool.
Fantastic.
It's great. I feel like my grandmother sending me a card when I'm 8. It's awesome. Thank you, dude. Seriously.
Lena Sears, Hazy Nelson, Olivia Fung, Becky Miller, Stephanie Dymick. No, Stephen Dymick, not Stephanie. Stephen, bro, I'm so sorry. Stephen Dymick.
We just gave you a Janus.
Right. Carissa Snyder, Pete Yankura. Pete Yankura. That's it.
Okay.
He's got Yank at the beginning of his last name.
That
That's
gets you
brutal.
very excited. You're like, hey, my man.
It makes me go, that's definitely not Yank.
My man.
Right. Nadia Scalia. Scully. Skauli. Scully.
Sure.
Right?
We'll call it that.
Nadia. Thank you, Nadia. Ashley Hathaway, Doug Burton, Daniel Frumkin, Amy. Jesus Christ. Really? The easiest. Amy L. Jones. And I'm going to fucking stutter that?
Yeah, Amy Jones is about as easy as you get.
You're
not going to get much better than that.
Right. Amy L. Jones. Thank you. Talina Jensen, Elizabeth Armour, Jared Crook, Stacy Huffaker.
She's the best. Thank you.
There's got to be something.
And we figured it out. Yes.
Did you?
I'll tell you afterwards,
Okay.
but there's an algorithm there to that.
Thank you.
She sent us a message explaining it.
Oh,
We're like,
hilarious.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
For everything.
Jared Crooks, I already said that. Stephanie Huffaker, there she is. Stephen Mace, Catherine Collado, Esther Wright, Michelle Jolly. She's fantastic also. She sends me shit on Snap. Which
Australian, right?
Yes, I think so. Amy Pohanic.
Oh, yeah.
Rise Probin, Rachel Dean, Carol Hayden. Thank you so much, Carol, by the way. That was a fucking unbelievable donation. Thank you.
Nice of you.
Luke Rogers, Nilu Rafsanjani. What? Are you shitting me?
You got
that was
right.
amazing. She's going to be blown away. Kathleen Thill, Samantha Taylor. She has a podcast called Hidden Staircase Podcast. So listen to that if you can.
Okay.
Megan Strappick, of course. She didn't hear her name the other day, so I just wanted to make sure. Megan Strappick. There it is.
And we'll
there
definitely see you in Boston.
For sure. Geekcast Live podcast. I'm not sure what that one is.
Why
I
are all
haven't
these
listened to it yet.
podcasts donating? Oh, because they want to plug.
Of course
That's
they
pretty
do.
fucking
Isn't that fucking
That's
clever?
Weird.
That's
very
smart
clever,
of them.
though. We should have thought of that back in the day when we needed
Right,
it.
no doubt.
Fucking, good job. Way to think, guys.
Dana Grayson started a podcast, and he has a website, stateofgrayson.com. He's a trucker, and
we love Dana. He's a good
fantastic.
guy. So give him a shot, whether it's good or not. Listen to him, give him a shot, because he's a good guy, and
that's what
give
it
him
is.
a chance.
There you go. Yeah. Brandy Allen donated. She's an author. She's the one that sent us those children's books
those are great.
last
My
week.
daughter loved that. She's an artist. My daughter.
Yeah.
She was like, the illustrations are beautiful.
And there
she
leaves
wanted us
so
to
much
tell you that.
to the imagination.
Yeah.
My daughter had all kinds of questions. I was like, thanks a lot, Brandy.
She just wanted her to know how beautiful she thought her illustrations were.
And my 7-year-old wanted more explanation. I was like, I don't know.
What do you
the
want
words
from
are
me?
in the book.
I don't know.
That's what you got. That's it.
She's from Spain. I don't know what to tell you.
She's from America. Lives in Spain.
I know it.
Okay. Joseph Shelpman, Zachary Dubois, and Lauren Leberjois. Isn't that fucking
Jesus?
Both of them right next to each other.
Coming
too.
out.
James Cook, Naima Shea, Amy Negley, Timothy Young, and then Wyvern Workshop. I'm not sure what that is, but Google that and give him some whatever business. Tyler Dyke, I think, or Dick. It can't be
Is
Dick,
either
right?
one? Yeah.
It's DYK. It's got to be Dyke, right?
I would think.
I don't know. Tyler,
Dyke.
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry, dude. John Weipert, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
For everything
honestly.
you guys do. Really quickly, listen, we get a ton of fucking emails, and we get a lot of emails from people telling us that we help them through a lot of tough stuff, like legit life challenges and legit hurdles that I can't fathom being faced with.
And the thing is, we pay attention to them.
Right.
And we'll tell each other, oh my God, did you see that one from that? And we talk about it, and it means the world to us.
Does.
It really does.
I'm not thankful for the awful obstacles, obviously, but I'm thankful for the grace and humble humility with which these people handle the things that are being thrown at them.
Yes.
I'm a cold-hearted asshole most of the days, and it's because of the tortures that I've endured in my short lifetime, which is it's only gotten this far by the grace of dumb luck, chance, and happenstance that I'm here now. And there are people in this world suffering through turbulent and uncertain futures. And I just want you guys to know that we think about that stuff all the time. Every goddamn day I think about it. And I thank you guys for listening. I thank you for laughing. I thank you for getting it. But thank you for spending your time with us, because that's the shit that's more valuable than money. And I realize we entertain you in a cubicle in your car, sometimes more intimately that in your house or in your bed. But you're doing something for us when you laugh and you enjoy it. And time is precious. And when you spend it a little on a reviewing this, interacting on social media, telling a friend, or actually giving a shit and listening, you guys are giving something back, giving to us something that you can't get back.
Yeah,
and that's why we try to involve you.
lot.
Right. So from the bottom of my cold, black, brittle, calloused, shitty heart, thank you guys so much for caring, and thanks for being around.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much. We appreciate you caring, and we appreciate you guys kind of making us a part of what you do and a part of your life and a part of everything. And and then if you do anything extra for us, that's just ridiculous.
It's amazing.
It's so amazing that it's actually silly.
Yeah.
That's how awesome it is. So, guys, thank you so much. What if one of these fine people want to get a hold of a guy like you?
You can
Jimmie?
find
How'd you
me
do that?
at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Follow me, play along. I try my best to put up new things every day, or at least every couple of days, so that you guys can see what dumb shit I'm up to. So thank you guys for playing along.
And I am at Jimmie P is funny. You can find me there, or you can copy and paste my last name from the show description. Don't try to spell it. You're going to be a hero, and it's not going to work out for you. So don't even bother. Just do that. And honestly, guys, we do, from the bottom of our hearts, appreciate every second you spend with us, every penny you give us, every friend you tell. These things are little, and they add up, though. Like, you have no idea. And they've added up to just a tsunami.
It's incredible.
Of us being overwhelmed by this tsunami of support. So thank you guys so much. And we'll be here supporting you next week. And until next week, guys, it's been our pleasure.
Bye! Hey guys, I just want to tell you real quick, web support is brought to you by webandwriter.com. If you're looking to build a website, go over to webandwriter.com. They build websites that look great on all screens, graphics, logos, engaging content. Go over to webandwriter.com or go over to facebook.com/webandwriter. They'll build you an unbelievable website at a very fair rate. They'll build you a very great website. Go see them, webandwriter.com.
Most people think Hawaii is pretty wonderful, but most people don't find changing planes quite so wonderful. Hawaiian Airlines is on it. We're now flying nonstop from Long Beach to Honolulu and nonstop from Oakland to Kauai. And we're flying advanced new Airbus A321neo aircraft. We're talking a modern, fuel-efficient marvel of aviation technology here. The plane matters, and so does the airline. Choose well. Find our best fares at hawaiianairlines.com.
ADT can design and install a smart home just for you, backed by 24/7 protection. A new smart home at your service, customized for your lifestyle. Set up custom automations unique to your home to automatically do the things like lock the doors or set the thermostat when you leave. Even close your garage door from virtually anywhere. ADT will set up your home with multiple smart home devices and security features like indoor and outdoor cameras, locks, lights, and garage door control, even video doorbells. Visit ADT.com/podcasts to learn more about how ADT can design and install a secure smart home just for you.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.